Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So this is Pramod and this is another CompTIA Core 2 real exam question series, and this part is also very helpful to pass the CompTIA Core 2 exam. So let's go to the questions, and this is the question. A technician recently installed a program that uses several anti-piracy technologies. When the program is launched, it briefly opens and then closes. So which of the following is most likely the reason? Option A, 32-bit program on a 64-bit computer. Option B, CPU incompatibility. Option C, outdated video card drivers. And option D, USB key not plugged in. And the correct answer for this question is option D, USB key not plugged in. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is high-end or specialized software often uses hardware-based anti-piracy technologies known as dongles, typically a USB key. These devices must be physically connected to the computer for the software to verify its license during the launch sequence. If the program starts and then immediately closes, it is usually because the heartbeat or license check failed because the physical security token was missing. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, USB key not plugged in. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a computer frequently crashes after an OS patch. Which of the following actions should a technician take to prevent further crashes and look into the issue? Option A, perform a system restore. Option B, roll back the updates. Option C, apply the optional patches. Option D, change the startup sequence. And the correct answer for this question is option B, roll back the updates. So let's check the explanation. When a computer begins crashing immediately following an OS patch, the most direct and efficient troubleshooting step is to roll back the updates. This action reverses the specific changes made by the recent patch, which is the most likely cause of the instability. By returning the system to its pre-patch state, a technician can stop the crashes, restore stability, and then investigate the specific patch for known bugs or compatibility issues in a controlled manner. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, roll back the updates. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, after a user installs a mobile application from an advertisement, the phone's battery dies a few hours later and it is hard to touch even when not in use. So which of the following should a technician do first? Option A, check for unauthorized device administrators. Option B, contact the software developer. Option C, run a mobile malware scan on the phone. Option D, ensure appropriate MDM policies are applied. And the correct answer for this question is option C, run a mobile malware scan on the phone. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, the symptoms described extreme battery drain and excessive heat when the device is ideal. Immediately following the installation of an app from an advertisement are classic indicators of malware or a malicious background process. Malicious apps often perform resource-intensive tasks in the background, such as crypto mining, data exploitation, or botnet activities which overwork the processor and deplete the battery rapidly. Scanning for malware is the first logical step to identify and isolate the threat before proceeding with further troubleshooting or remediations. That's why the correct answer for this question is option C, run a mobile malware scan on the phone. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, after new device software for a webcam is installed, a Windows PC is experiencing blue screen of death. The BSOD occurs during a video conference call. Which of the following should the technician do next? Option A, update the anti-malware signatures and scan the system. Option B, file a warranty claim with the manufacturer. Option C, start in safe mode and roll back the device driver. Option D, reconnect the webcam to the computer. And the correct answer for this question is option C, start in safe mode and roll back the device driver. So let's check the explanation. The blue screen of death BSOD occurred immediately after installing new device software for the webcam and specifically triggers during a video conference call. This creates a clear cause and effect relationship pointing to an incompatible or corrupted device driver. So the first option is rollback. This feature restores the previous stable version of the driver that was working before the update. And then safe mode, since BSODs can sometimes prevent a normal boot or cause immediate crashes upon logging. Starting in safe mode allows the technician to access the device manager and perform the rollback in a stable environment where only essential drivers are loaded. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, start in safe mode and roll back the device driver. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician is setting up a computer for a new user. A requirement is that the user's documents are stored on a network location and not locally on the computer. So which of the following should the technician configure? Option A, file attributes. Option B, user account control. Option C, security groups. Option D, folder redirection. And the correct answer for this question is option D, folder redirection. So let's check the explanation. So folder redirection is a Windows feature that allows an administrator to redirect the path of a known folder, such as documents, pictures, or desktop, to a new location, such as a network share. This ensures that even though the user interacts with the folders as if it were local, the files are actually stored and back up on a central server. This meets the requirement of storing documents on a network location rather than locally. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, folder redirection. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an end user wants to have a sales printer added to their computer. The printer is on the domain. So which of the following is the best method for the technician to add the printer? Option A, go to the print server and select the printer name. Option B, connect the laptop to the printer via USB. Option C, connect to printer via Bluetooth. Option D, go to local user and groups to add the printer. And the correct answer for this question is option A, go to the print server and select the printer name. So let's check the explanation. In a Windows domain environment, printers are typically managed by a print server. This is the best method because centralized management, the print server handles the print drivers for all connected clients. When the technician selects the printer from the server, the computer automatically downloads the correct driver. Domain integration means printers on a domain are often shared via universal naming convention UNC path. Example, print server/print name. Browsing the print server allows the technician to quickly find and connect to the shared resource. Efficiency, it avoids manual driver installations on individual workstations and ensures the printer is already configured with the correct network settings and permissions. So that's why the correct answer for this question is go to the print server and select the printer name. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following authentication methods is the best way to prevent users from frequently entering their credentials? Option A, access control list. Option B, single sign-on. Option C, multi-factor authentication. Option D, one-time password. And the correct answer for this question is option B, single sign-on. So let's check the explanation. So single sign-on SSO is an authentication scheme that allows a user to log in once with a single set of credentials, such as a username and password, and gain access to multiple related yet independent software systems or applications. By using an identity provider to pass authentication tokens seamlessly to various services, so SSO eliminates the need for users to manually re-enter their credentials every time they switch between applications. This significantly improves the user experience by reducing login frictions and password fatigue. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, single sign-on. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a secretary receives an email from the company chief executive officer with a request to pay or vendor immediately. After the payment is made, the chief executive officer tells the secretary that they never sent that email. So which of the following social engineering tactics best describes this type of attack? Option A, evil twin. Option B, impersonation. Option C, whaling. Option D, spear phishing. And the correct answer for this question is option B, impersonation. So let's check the explanation. The scenario describes impersonations where an attacker pretends to be a legitimate person in a position of authority, the CEO, to deceive an employee, the secretary, into performing an unauthorized action, such as a fraudulent payment. This specific type of impersonation is often referred to as business email compromise, BEC, or CEO fraud. While spear phishing is a method used to deliver the attack, impersonation is the primary social engineering tactic being leveraged. In many certification contexts like CompTIA A+, when a specific person is assumed to manipulate a victim, impersonation is the most precise descriptor for the tactic used. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, impersonation. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, performance on a user's smartphone is degrading. Applications take a long time to start and switching between windows also takes a long time. So which of the following diagnostic steps should a mobile technician take first? Option A, restore the phone to factory settings. Option B, restart the phone. Option C, check the phone's battery state. Option D, uninstall unneeded applications. And the correct answer for this question is option B, restart the phone. So let's check the explanation. Restarting the device is the most appropriate first diagnostic step because it is the least invasive action and can quickly resolve performance issues caused by temporary software glitches, memory leaks, or runaway background processes. In technical troubleshooting, specifically CompTIA standards, which this question aligns with, you should always start with the simplest and quickest potential solution before moving to more complex or destructive methods. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, restart the phone. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user is unable to use the latest version of an application on a legacy personal tablet. Which of the following is most likely the reason? Option A, the OS is end of life. Option B, storage space is inadequate. Option C, MDS is blocking updates. Option D, the tablet is infected with malware. And the correct answer for this question is option A, the OS is end of life. So let's check the explanation. In the context of IT troubleshooting and certification exams like CompTIA A+, a legacy device referred to older hardware that is no longer being actively updated by the manufacturer. When an operating system reaches its end of life, the vendor stops providing security patches, feature updates, and technical support. Because modern applications are built using the latest APIs and software development kits that requires features found only in newer OS versions, they often become incompatible with end-of-life system. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, the OS is end of life. And this is the question, which of the following controls access to certain services to ensure that administrators are not automatically given elevated permissions? Option A, PALM. Option B, MFA. Option C, DLP. And option D, SSO. And the correct answer for this question is option A, PALM. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, so PALM is the privilege access management, is a security strategy and set of tools used to control, monitor, and secure access to critical systems and data. It ensures that administrative users do not have constant, always on, elevated permissions. Instead of Palm facilitates just-in-time access where permissions are granted only when needed for specific tasks and revoke once the task is complete, thereby reducing the attack's surface. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, Palm. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, which of the following file system is a successor to NTFS? Option A, REFS, option B, XFS, option C, APFS, and option D, AXFAT. And the correct answer for this question is option A, REFS, Resilient File System. So let's check the explanation. So REFS was introduced by Microsoft with Windows Server 2012 and is designed to be the next generation successor to NTFS. It aims to overcome limitations found in NTFS, specifically regarding large-scale storage, data integrity, and automatic corruption recovery. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, REFS, Resilient File System. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a technician needs to configure settings for password, complexity, and failed login attempts before a user is logged out. These settings cannot be changed by standard users. Which of the following MMC snap-ins should a technician use? Option A, task CHT, option B, less MJR, and option C, per fmon, and option D, GPS DIT. So, and the correct answer for this question is option D, GPS DIT. So let's check the explanation. So the local group policy editor, that means gpedit.msc, is the MMC snap-in used to configure system-wide security settings, including password complexity and account lockout thresholds, failed login attempts. So these policies are found under computer configuration, Windows settings, security settings, account policies, and apply to all users on the local machine. So preventing standard users from overriding them. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, GPS DIT. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a customer is upgrading their workstation from Windows 10 to Windows 11. They perform a clean installation from a USB drive. After the system restarts, the installer loads again. So which of the following should the user do to complete the installation? Option A, run chk dsk from the USB. Option B, turn off TPM. Option C, change MBR to EFI. Option D, remove the user drive. And the correct option for this question is option D, remove the USB drive. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, when performing a clean installation of an operating system via USB drive, the computer's boot order is often set to prioritize the USB device over the internal hard drive. Once the initial set of files are copied and system restarts, the installation process is designed to continue from the internal drive. However, if the USB drive remains plugged in and the BIOS UEFI still prioritizes it, the system will boot back into the installer starting screen again rather than proceeding with the next phase of setup on the workstation, or manually changing the boot order forces the system to boot from the internal disk to finish the installation. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, remove the USB drive. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user called the help desk to report an issue with the internet connection speed on a laptop. The technician thinks that background services may be using extra bandwidth. So which of the following tools should the technician use to investigate connections on the laptop? Option A, NSLOOKUP. Option B, NetUse. Option C, NetStat. Option D, NetUser. And the correct answer for this question is option C, NetStat. So let's check the explanation. So the NetStat network statistics command is the most appropriate tool for this scenario because it displays all active TCP connections and the ports on which the computer is listening. It allows a technician to see exactly which local addresses and processes are communicating with external IP addresses, helping to identify background services or applications that are consuming excessive bandwidth. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, net start. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a user is unable to log in into the network. The network uses 802.1x with EAP TLS to authenticate on the wired network. The user has been on extended leave and has not logged into the computer in several months. So which of the following is causing the login issue? Option A, expired certificate. Option B, OS update failure. Option C, services not started. Option D, application crash. And option E, profile rebuild needed. And the correct answer for this question is option A, expired certificate. So let's check the explanation. So analysis of the issue is 802.1x with EAP TLS. This authentication method relies on digital certificate installed on both the client, user's computer and the server for mutual authentication. Extended leave, because the user has been away for several months, the digital certificate used for EAP TLS authentication has likely passed its expiration date, and the result, the authentication server rejects the connection because the certificate is no longer valid, so preventing the user from logging into the network. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, expired certificate. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, which of the following authentication methods is token based? Option A is Kerberos, option B TACAX plus, option C passwords, and option B TKIP. And the correct answer for this question is option A, Kerberos. So let's check the explanation. So Kerberos is a network authentication protocol that uses a ticket-based system, which is a specific form of token-based authentication. When a user authenticates, a key distribution center KDC issues a ticket granting ticket TGT. This TGT acts as a digital token that a user present to request service tickets for accessing various network resources without re-entering the password, enabling single sign-on. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is the most secure method of preventing someone from accessing a cell phone? Option A, PIN, option B, swipe, option C, passphrase, option D, pattern. And the correct answer for this question is option C, passphrase. So let's check the explanation. So among the options provided, a passphrase is the most secure method of preventing unauthorized access to a cell phone because it can be the longest and most complex, offering the highest number of combinations and making it the hardest to guess or brute force. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, passphrase. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, when a user is in the office, web pages are loading slowly on the user's phone. So which of the following best explains this issue? Option A, exceeded data uses limit. Option B, sluggish response time. Option C, degraded network service. Option D, low storage space. And the correct answer for this question is option C, degraded network service. So let's check the explanation. So in an office environment, a slow web page loading on a mobile phone is most commonly caused by degraded network service. This occurs when the cellular or Wi-Fi signal is weakened by building materials like steel or concrete. High network congestions from many users or interference from other electronic devices. Unlike a total outage, degraded service allows for a connection but a significantly reduced speeds and higher latency. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, degraded network service. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user calls the help desk to report potential malware on a computer. The anomalous activity began after the user clicked a link to a free gift card in a recent email. The technician asks the user to describe any unusual activity such as slow performance, excessive pop-ups, and browser redirections. So which of the following should the technician do next? Option A, advise the user to run a complete system scan using the OS anti-malware application. Option B, guide the user to reboot the machine into safe mode and verify whether the anomalous activities are still present. Option C, have the user check for recently installed applications and outline those installed since the link in the email was clicked. Option D, instruct the user to disconnect internet connections to the corporate network. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, instruct the user to disconnect the Ethernet connection to the corporate network. So let's check the explanation. So according to the best practices for malware incident response, specifically CompTIA A plus troubleshooting procedures, the first step after identifying potential malware is to quarantine or isolate the affected system to prevent the malware from spreading to other computers on the network. So that's why the correct answer for this question is instruct the user to disconnect the Ethernet connections to the corporate network. And this is the question, which of the following is used to store password in macOS? Option A, file vault. Option B, keychain. Option C, accessibility. Option D, mission control. And the correct answer for this question is option B, keychain. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is keychain is the built-in password management system in macOS. It securely stores passwords for websites, applications, network shares, and encryption keys in an encrypted database. Users can manage this information using the keychain access found in the /application/utility/folder. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, keychain. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user logs into a computer each morning and tries to print a daily report, but it will not print. The user calls the help desk, they change the settings and the user is able to print that day, but the same issue happens again the next day. Because the issue occurs every day, the issue gets escalated. So which of the following does the technician need to do so the user does not have to report the issue every day? So choose two out of these options. Option A, set the print spooler to have no dependencies. Option B, set the print spooler recovery to take no action. Option C, start the printer extensions and notification service. Option D, start the print spooler service. And option E, set the print spooler to automatic. And option F, set the print spooler log on to the user's account. And the correct answer for this question is option D, start the print spooler service, and option E, set the print spooler to automatic. So let's check the explanation. The scenario describes a common issue where a temporary fix starting a service works for the current session, but the problem recurs upon reboot or a new login because the underlying configuration is not persistent. So option D, start the print spooler service. That means this is the immediate action required to enable printing for the user. The print spooler is the primary Windows service that messages all print job sent to the printer. If the service is stopped, the computer cannot communicate with the printer. And option E, the set the print spooler to automatic. This means this is the critical step to prevent the issue from recurring daily by changing the startup type to automatic. The technician ensures that the print spooler service starts by itself every time the computer boots up. Without this setting, the service likely remains in a manual or disabled states, requiring manual intervention every morning. That's why the correct answer for this question is option D and option E. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user's computer is able to access resources on the corporate network but is unable to access internet web pages with a browser. So which of the following is most likely the reason? Option A, IP address conflict. Option B, missing proxy settings. Option C, incorrect subnet mask. And option D, disconnected Ethernet cable. And the correct answer for this question is option B, missing proxy settings. So let's check the explanation. So in a corporate environment, internal network traffic is often routed directly. while external internet traffic is sent through a proxy server for security and monitoring. If the user can access local corporate resources like internal servers or internet sites but cannot reach by external websites, it indicates that the local network connections layer 1 to 3 is functioning correctly, but the browser is not properly configured to hand off internet bound requests to the proxy server. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, missing proxy settings. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician needs to download and install a new web browser on a desktop computer. So which of the following should the technician use to verify the installer is an authentic version? Option A, date, option B, hash, option C, size, option D, name. And the correct answer for this question is option B, hash. So let's check the explanation. A hash value acts as a unique digital fingerprint for a file. When a software developer releases an installer, they often provide a cryptographic hash such as SHA-256. A technician can calculate the hash of the downloaded file and compare it to the one provided by the official source. If they match, it confirms the file is authentic and has not been tampered with or corrupted during download. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option P, hash. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a Microsoft operating system laptop user requests an alternative login authentication method because they have forgotten their password multiple times. So which of the following should a technician enable to satisfy this request? Option A, single sign-on, option B, Windows Hello, option C, BitLocker, option D, user account control. And the correct answer for this question is option B, Windows Hello. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, Windows Hello is a biometric based authentication feature in Microsoft Windows that allows users to sign in to their devices using facial recognition, fingerprint scanning, or a PIN, enabling the satisfy the request for an alternative login method because it eliminates the need for the user to remember and type a complex password which they have frequently forgotten. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, Windows Hello. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a Windows 11 home device is receiving constant pop-ups about an urgent need to update antivirus software in order to remove a detected threat. The user has been clicking the X button in the Windows frame, but it always reappears. The pop-up includes an OK button to install the update and remove the threat. Which of the following should the user do next? Option A, click the OK button to install the update. Option B, reinstall the Windows operating system. Option C, run system file checker. Option D, verify the current status and settings of protection measures. And the correct answer for this question is option D, verify the current status and settings of protection measures. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, the threat constant pop-ups that reappear even after being closed are a classic sign of scareware or browser-based notifications. These are designed to trick you into clicking OK to install actual malware. The risk clicking OK option A would like to install a virus or ransomware. That's why the correct answer for this question is option D, verify the current status and settings of protection measures. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a customer reports that a computer is displaying pop-ups and making unexpected sounds. Which of the following should a technician do before remedying this issue? Option A, back up the customer's data. Option B, update the operating system. Option C, reimage the workstation. Option D, quarantine the machine. And the correct answer for this question is option D, quarantine the machine. So let's check the explanation. The symptoms described, pop-ups and unexpected sounds, are hallmark signs of malware infection. According to the standard CompTIA malware removal procedures, the first critical step after identifying the threat is to quarantine the infected system. This is typically done by disconnecting the machine from the network, both internet and Wi-Fi, to prevent the malware from spreading to other systems or communicating with a command and control server. Only after the system is isolated should the technician proceed with remediation steps like updating antivirus software and running scans. That's why the correct answer for this question is option D, quarantine the machine. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a company wants to use its directory database to authenticate users to its wireless network. So which of the following should the company use to accomplish this task? Option A, MFA, option B, WPA3, option C, Radius, option D, LDAP. And the correct answer for this question is Radius, remote authentication dial-in user service. So let's check the explanation. So Radius is the industry standard for providing centralized authentication, authorizations and accounting management for users who connect and use a network service. In a corporate environment, a Radius server acts as the intermediary between wireless access point, the NAS network access server, and the company's central directory database such as Active Directory or LDAP to validate users' credentials. So that's why the correct answer for this question is Radius, remote authentication dial-in user service. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a desktop technician is hardening a newly installed company workstation. Which of the following actions should the technician take? Choose two out of these options. Option A, implement a disclaimer on the login screen. Option B, disable the guest account. Option C, disable the screensaver. Option D, install remote collaboration tools. Option E, change the default administrator password. Option F, enable a virtual assistant. And the correct answer for this question is option B, disable the guest account, and option E, change the default administrator password. So let's check the explanation. So workstation hardening involves reducing the attack surface of a computer by removing unnecessary software and sourcing access points. Disable the guest account. So guest accounts often have minimal security and can be exploited by attackers to gain unauthorized access to a system. Disabling them ensures that only authenticated users with specific credentials can log in. And change the default administrator password. So default passwords are well known and often published online. Changing the default password to a complex, unique one is a critical first step in preventing brute force and credential based attacks. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B and option E. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a user takes an iOS based smartphone that is performing slowly to a repair shop. The shop technician finds the following information: battery charge 25%, battery health 90%, hotspot on, mobile receptions roaming off, use space 63.76 GB out of 64 GB. So which of the following is the cause of this issue? Option A, the device is running out of free space. Option B, the battery health is low. Option C, the phone is not sufficient charge. Option D, the hotspot is degrading the performance. Option E, too many applications are open. And the correct answer for this question is the device is running out of free space. So let's check the explanation. The device is running out of free space as the smartphone has less than of its total storage available, and which prevents the operating system from functioning efficiently. That's why the correct answer for this question is the device is running out of free space. And this is the question. A technician is securing a newly deployed workstation that only assigned users can access. So which of the following technique should a technician do to prevent unauthorized users from accessing the workstations? So choose two options out of this. So first option is defragment the hard drive. Option B is enable SSH. Option C is enable screensaver locks. Option D, disable iCloud integrations. Option E, enable the firewall. And option F, apply the BIOS password. And the correct answer for this question is option C, enable screensaver locks, and option F, apply the BIOS password. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is to prevent unauthorized physical and local access to a workstation. So these two methods address different entry points. So screensaver locks, this ensure that if a workstation is left unattended, it will automatically lock the session after a period of inactivity, requiring the assigned user's credentials to resume access. BIOS password, applying a BIOS UEFI password prevents unauthorized users from changing the boot order, example booting from a USB to bypass the OS or altering critical system hardware settings. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C and option F. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, an international traveler is concerned about other accessing the contents of their smartphone if it is lost or stolen. The traveler has enabled biometrics. Each of the following additional security measures further reduces the risk of unauthorized data access. Option A, remote backups. Option B, location tracking. Option C, PIN code screen lock. Option D, device encryption. And the correct answer for this question is option D, device encryption. So let's check the explanation. So device encryption, also known as full disk encryption, is the most effective additional measure for reducing the risk of unauthorized data access because it protects data at rest. Even if an attacker manages to bypass biometric authentication or gain physical access to the phone storage hardware, the contents remain unreadable without the specific decryption key. For international travelers, this is critical as it ensures data security even when the device is offline and cannot be remotely managed. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, device encryption. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a small town's clerk wants to work from home on a town issue laptop. The clerk needs to be able to access documents on the town hall server. So which of the following solutions does a technician needs to set up for the clerk? Option A, VNC. Option B, RDP. Option C, VPN. Option D, SSH. And the correct answer for this question is option C, VPN. So let's check the explanation. A VPN, virtual private network, is the standard solution for allowing a remote user like a clerk working from home securely connected to a private office network over the public internet. By creating an encrypted tunnel, the technician ensures that the clerk's town issues laptop can access internal resources such as the town hall server and its documents as if the laptop were physically connected to the local office network. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, VPN. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a company is implementing the 3-2-1 backup rule. Which of the following should the company do? Option A, perform full and differential backups. Option B, test the backup integrity even 3 weeks. Option C, keep all backup media on site for fast recovery. Option D, use at least 2 different types of media. And the correct answer for this question is option D, use at least 2 different types of media. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is 3-2-1 backup rule is a data protection strategy designed to ensure data availability in the event of hardware failure, ransomware, or disasters. The rules stipulates 3 means maintain at least 3 copies of data, the original production data, and 2 backups. 2 means use at least 2 different types of media for storage, example local server and tape or hard drive and cloud, to avoid simultaneous failure. 1 means keep at least 1 backup copy of site or in geographically separate locations like the cloud based on these principles. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, use at least 2 different types of media. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a team member provides a link to an online slide deck presentation so other team members can add to the presentation. The link does not work for any of the other team members. Which of the following should the team check first? Option A, version history. Option B, web browser compatibility. Option C, viewing and sharing permissions. Option D, license management. And the correct answer for this question is option C, viewing and sharing permissions. So let's check the explanations. When a link to an online document or slide deck is shared but does not work for others, the most common issue is that files access settings are restricted. Even if the link itself is valid, team members will be unable to view or edit the presentation unless the owner has explicitly granted them permission or sent the link to anyone with the link and edit view. Checking permissions is a standard first step in troubleshooting shared resource access issues. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, viewing and sharing permissions. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a support technician receives a computer with a non-responsive touchpad. The touchpad does not appear to be physically damaged. So which of the following tools should the technician use to check the touchpad driver? Option A, system configuration. Option B, device manager. Option C, event viewer. Option D, local users and groups. And the correct answer for this question is option B, device manager. So let's check the explanation. So device manager is the primary Windows utility used to manage, update and troubleshoot hardware components and their associated drivers. In the case of a non-responsive touchpad that shows no physical damage, a technician would use device manager to verify if the touchpad driver is missing, outdated or corrupted. Update, rollback or reinstall the driver to restore functionality. Scan for hardware changes if the device is not listed. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, device manager. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user is renaming a .txt file to a .xml file. So after renaming the file, Windows Explorer shows the file name as document.xml. However, the document property shows the type of file as text document.txt. So which of the following controls enables the user to correctly change the file type? Option A, indexing options. Option B, format command. Option C, personalizations. Option D, hide extensions. And the correct answer for this question is option D, hide extensions. So let's check the explanation, and the explanation is hiding extensions by default. By default, Windows Explorer hides the extensions for known file types. When the user renames the file, they likely only change the visible document part of the name to document.xml, while the actual full file name remains document.xml.txt in the system's view. The document properties correctly identify as the file as a text document because its true extension was string. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, hide extensions. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician is unable to upgrade a desktop computer from Windows 10 to Windows 11. So which of the following is most likely preventing the upgrade? Option A, missing TPM module. Option B, slow HDD spindle speed. Option C, low refresh rate. Option D, high RAM latency. And the correct answer for this question is missing TPM module. So let's check the explanation. So Windows 11 has strict hardware security requirements that were not present in Windows 10. The most common hard blocker for an upgrade is the lack of a trusted platform module version 2.0. A TPM is a specialized security chip on the motherboard that provides hardware-based encryption and authentication. If this module is missing or disabled in the UEFI BIOS, the Windows 11 installer will prevent the upgrade from proceeding. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, missing TPM module. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user is unable to upload files to the corporate servers from their mobile phone when outside the office, but uploading files works without issue when they are in the office. The user briefly saw an error notifications but dismissed the error before reading it. So which of the following should a technician do to determine the root cause? Option A, check the data usage limit. Option B, enable airplane mode. Option C, verify the last device reboot. Option D, enable Bluetooth connectivity. And the correct answer for this question is option A, check the data usage limit. So let's check the explanation. The user can upload files while in the office, likely using corporate Wi-Fi, but fails when outside using cellular data. The specific behavior indicates a connectivity issue tied to the cellular network rather than the device itself or the server permissions. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, check the data usage limit. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a desktop technician is mapping a remote Windows share WinNAS shared as a local disk shared. Which of the following commands should the technician run? Option A, NSLOOKUP. Option shared, WinNAS shared. Option B, net use shared, WinNAS shared. Option C, CHKDSK shared, WinNAS shared. Option D, SFC slash off WinDir shared, WinNAS shared. And the correct answer for this question is option B, net use shared, WinNAS shared. So let's check the explanation. So to map a remote Windows shared UNC path to a local drive later, example shared in the Windows command prompt, the technician should use the net use command. The command structure is net use, drive later, server and share. That's why the correct answer for this question is net use shared, WinNAS shared. And this is the question. A technician needs to change hibernation settings on a Windows computer by applying a batch file. Domain policies are unavailable, so which of the following is the best way to achieve this goal? Option A, update power options in the control panel. Option B, update the computer's firmware. Option C, run GPU update from a command prompt. Option D, use the power cfg command in a PowerShell. And the correct answer for this question is use the power cfg command in PowerShell. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is the power cfg command is the standard built-in command line utility for managing Windows power settings, including enabling or disabling hibernation. It's because the requirement is to apply this setting using a batch file, a script. The technician must use a command line tool that can be executed programmatically. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, use the power cfg command in PowerShell. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a client reports that their browser's homepage change every time they run an internet search. The results returned are from unfamiliar websites. So which of the following actions should a technician take first to resolve the issue? So choose two options out of this. Option A, clear the browsing history. Option B, run operating system updates. Option C, check the system date and time. Option D, uninstall malicious extensions. Option E, reset the browser startup page. Option F, restart the user's machine. And the correct answer for this question is option D, uninstall malicious extensions. And option E, reset the browser startup page. So let's check the explanation. The symptoms described a change homepage and search results being redirected to unfamiliar websites are classic indicators of browser hijacking. This is often caused by malicious browser extensions or adware that has modified the browser settings to redirect traffic for profit or further infections. So uninstalling malicious extensions, option T, is a directly addressed a common source of the redirection. Malicious add-on often contain scripts that intercept search queries and override default browser behavior. And the next option E is a resetting the browser startup page is a necessary step to restore the user's preferred homepage and remove any malicious URLs that the hijacker inserted into the on startup settings. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D and option E. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a Windows user is having trouble accessing a file share. The technician would like to confirm the username that the machine is currently logged into. Which of the following should the technician use? Option A, net user. Option B, traceRT. Option C, who am I? Option D, hostname. And the correct answer for this question is option C, who am I? And let's check the explanation. The who am I command is used in Windows and other operating systems to display the username and domain of the user currently logging into the local system. When troubleshooting file share access, this is a critical first step because access permission such as NTFS or shared permissions are tied to specific user accounts. If a user is logged in with a different account, then they realize they may be denied access to specific network resources. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a technician follows the proper procedure for malware removal on an infected computer. However, the technician is unable to remove all the malware and decides to reload the OS. So which of the following should the technician select? Option A, version upgrade. Option B, system restore. Option C, OS repair. And option D, clean install. And the correct answer for this question is option D, clean install. So let's check the explanation. When a technician is unable to remove malware through standard remediation procedures, such as scanning in safe mode or using a pre-installation environment, a clean install is the most effective and recommended solution. So this process involves completely wiping the drive by formatting the partition and installing the operating system from scratch. This ensures that any deep-seated malware, corrupted system file, or persistent registry entries associated with the infection are entirely removed. That's why the correct answer for this question is option D, clean install. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a technician is a 3D printing high strength carbon fiber based filament parts for a customer order. So which of the following is the most important for the technician to use? Option A, steel toed boots. Option B, air filter mask. Option C, ESD mat. Option D, anti-static bags. And the correct answer for this question is option B, air filter mask. So let's check the explanation. So when 3D printing with carbon fiber based filaments, the printing process can release fine particles, microscopic fibers, and potentially harmful fumes, so volatile organic compounds or VOCs, into the air. So inhaling these particulates can cause respiratory irritation or long-term health issues. An air filter mask specifically respiratory rated for particulates and or organic vapors is the most critical piece of personal protective equipment (PPE) to ensure the technician's safety during the extraction and post-processing of these advanced materials. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, air filter mask. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following concepts should a technician consider when discussing confidential work projects with individuals outside the company? Option A, ULA, option B, OL, option C, SLA, and option D, NDA. And the correct answer for this question is option D, NDA. So let's check the explanation. An NDA, non-disclosure agreement, is a legal contract between at least two parties that outlines confidential material, knowledge, or information that the parties wish to share with one another for specific purposes but wish to restrict from generalized use or public disclosure. Technicians must adhere to these agreements when handling sensitive company projects to prevent unauthorized leak of proprietary information to outside individuals. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, NDA. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a technician is reviewing an organization's current incident management policy. The organization uses a third-party vendor to protect the organization's assets with multiple tools. So which of the following service types is the organization using? Option A, Pass. Option B, EDR. Option C, MDR. Option D, XDR. And the correct answer for this question is option C, MDR. So let's check the explanation. So MDR means managed detection and response, is a service provided by a third-party vendor that delivers 24/7 security monitoring, threat hunting, and incident response. The question describes an organization utilizing an external provider to manage their assets using multiple tools, which is core definition of managed service like MDR that combines advanced technology with human expertise to handle incident management. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, MDR. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following commands can a technician use to view the contents of a single file on a Linux terminal? Option A, chmod, option B, cat, option C, ls, option D, sudo. And the correct answer for this question is option B, cat command. So let's check the explanation. The cat, short for concatenate command, is primarily used in Linux and Unix like operating systems to display the entire contents of a file directly to the terminal window. While its name comes from its ability to merge concatenate multiple files, it is the standard tool for quick file inspection without opening a text editor. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, cat. So let's move to the next question. The next question is a chief executive officer wants to meet with remote employees in a way that will allow for collaboration and training. So which of the following software technologies is the best for the situation? Option A, video conferencing. Option B, screen sharing. Option C, remote desktop protocol. Option D, virtual desktop infrastructure. And the correct answer for this question is option A, video conferencing. So let's check the explanation. So explanation is video conferencing is the most suitable technology for this scenario because it provides a comprehensive environment for a real-time communication, visual engagement, and interactive collaborations. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, video conferencing. So let's move to the next question. The next question is which of the following file system supports read and write operations for Windows, Mac OS and Linux? Option A exFAT, option B REFS, option C NTFS, option D APFS, option E ext4. And the correct answer for this question is option A exFAT. So let's check the explanation. So exFAT extended file allocation table is the only file system among the choices that provides native out-of-the-box read and write support for Windows, Mac OS and Linux. It was specifically designed for external storage devices to offer cross-platform compatibility while supporting files larger than 4 GB, which was the primary limitations of its predecessor FAT32. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, exFAT. And this is the question. A technician needs to provide remote support for a legacy Linux-based operating system from their Windows laptop. The solution needs to allow the technician to see what the user is doing and provide the ability to interact with the user session. So which of the following remote access technologies would support the use case? Option A VPN, option B VNC, option C SSH, and option D RDH. And the correct answer for this question is option B VNC, virtual network computing. So let's check the explanation for this answer. And the explanation is a virtual network computing VNC is a graphical desktop sharing system that uses the remote frame buffer RFP protocol to remotely control another computer. It is an ideal choice for the scenario because platform independence, it works seamlessly between different operating systems such as a Windows laptop and a Linux based system. Session sharing is unlike some other protocols. VNC allows the technician to see the user's active screen in real time and interact with the same session, facilitating collaborative troubleshooting. And legacy support. So VNC is widely supported on older or legacy Linux distributions where modern alternative protocols might not be natively available. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, VNC, virtual network computing. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a network technician notices that most of the company's network switches are now end of life and need to be upgraded. So which of the following should a technician do first? Option A, implement the change. Option B, approve the change. Option C, propose the change. And option D, schedule the change. And the correct answer for this question is option C, propose the change. So let's check the explanation. So in standard IT change management frameworks such as ITIL, which CompTIA exams follows, the first step after identifying a necessary upgrade is to formally propose the change. A proposal is required so that the organizations can evaluate the impact, cost and necessity before any the steps are taken. Without a formal proposal, there is no request to review, approve or fund. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, propose the change. So let's move to the next question. The next question is MFA for custom web applications on a user's smartphone is no longer working. The last time the user remember it working was before taking a vacation to another country. So which of the following should the technician do first? Option A, verify the date and time settings. Option B, apply mobile OS patches. Option C, uninstall and reinstall the application. Option D, escalate to the website developer. And the correct answer for this question is option A, verify the date and time settings. So let's check the explanation. So time-based OTPs, most MFA systems use time-based on one-time passwords. These algorithms generate code based on the current time. So drift desynchronization, if a user travels to another country, the smartphone's time might be set manually or fail to synchronize with the local network. If the device's clock is out of the sync with the server's clock by event a few minutes, the generated MFA codes will be invalid. And troubleshooting first step, so verifying date and time is the quickest, least invasive first step when MFA fails specifically after international travel. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, verify the date and time settings. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is found in an MSDS sheet for battery backup? Option A, installation instructions. Option B, emergency procedures. Option C, configuration steps. Option D, voltage specifications. And the correct answer for this question is option D, emergency procedures. So let's check the explanation. A material safety data sheet, MSDS, now more commonly called a safety data sheet, SDS, is a document specifically designed to provide health and safety information regarding chemical substances. In the case of battery backup, which contains hazardous chemicals like lead acid or lithium ion, the MSDS/SDS includes critical safety information such as emergency procedures, instructions for handling accidental spills, leaks, or fires, first aid measures, what to do if someone is exposed to the battery's chemicals, handling and storage, safe ways to manage the materials to prevent injury, personal protective equipment PPE, required gear to wear when working with the unit. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, emergency procedures. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, the screen of a previously working computer repeatedly displays an OS not found error message when the computer is started. Only a USB drive, a keyboard, and a mouse are plugged into the computer. So which of the following should a technician do first? Option A, run data recovery tools on the disk. Option B, partition the disk using the GPT format. Option C, check boot options. Option D, switch from UEFI to BIOS. And the correct answer for this question is option C, check boot options. And the explanation is, an operating system not found error typically occurs when the system attempts to boot from a device that does not contain a bootable operating system. In this scenario, the presence of a USB drive is the most likely cause, as the BIOS EFI firmware may be prioritizing external storage over the internal hard drive. Checking and adjusting the boot order in the system setting is the least invasive and most logical first step to ensure the computer is attempting to load the OS from the correct disk. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, check boot options. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a security administrator teaches all of an organization's staff members to use BitLocker to go. Which of the following best describes the reason for this training? Option A, to ensure that all removable media is password protected in case of loss of theft. And option B is to enable secure boot and a BIOS level password to prevent configuration changes. Option C, to enforce VPN connectivity to be encrypted by hardware models. Option D, to configure all laptops to use the TPM as an encryption factor for hard drives. And the correct answer for this question is option A, to ensure that all removable media is password protected in case of loss or theft. And let's check the explanation. So BitLocker is a specific Windows feature designed to extend BitLocker encryption to removable data drives, such as USB flash drives and external hard disks. By training staff to use this tool, the security administrator ensures that if a portable device is lost or stolen, the sensitive data on it remains encrypted and inaccessible without a correct password or recovery key. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, to ensure that all removable media is password protected in case of loss or theft. So let's move to the next question. The next question is which of the following is used to detect and record access to restricted areas? Option A, bollards. Option B, video surveillance. Option C, badge readers. Option D, fins. And the correct answer for this question is option B, video surveillance. So let's check the explanation. So video surveillance CCTV is specifically designed to perform two key security functions simultaneously: detection and recording. So detection is a cameras equipped with the motion sensors or live monitoring capabilities can identify when someone enters a restricted zone in real time. And recording the footage provides a permanent historical record evidence of who accessed the area, their actions and the timing of the event. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, video surveillance. So let's move to the next question. The next question is an administrator received an email stating that the OS they are currently supporting will no longer be issued security updates and patches. So which of the following is most likely the reason the administrator received this message? Option A, support from the computer's manufacturer is expiring. Option B, the OS will be considered end of life. Option C, the built-in security software is being removed from the next OS version. And option D, a new version of the OS will be released soon. And the correct answer for this question is option B, the OS will be considered end of life. So let's check the explanation. An operating system OS reaches its end of life when the vendor stops producing, marketing or supporting the product. The primary indicator of this stage is the cessation of regulatory security updates, patches and technical support. Without these updates, the OS becomes a legacy system, significantly increasing the risk that attackers will exploit unpatched vulnerabilities to compromise data or privacy. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, the OS will be considered end of life. So let's move to the next question. The next question is which of the following is the best way to distribute custom images to 800 devices that include 4 device vendor classes with 2 types of user groups? Option A, use Pass copy to clone the hard drives from one to another. Option B, use robocopy to move the files to each device. Option C, use a local image deployment tool for each device. Option D, use a network-based remote installation tool. And the correct answer for this question is option D, use a network-based remote installation tool. So let's check the explanation. For a large-scale deployment involving 800 devices, manual or local methods are insufficient and prone to error. A network-based remote installation tool such as a Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Managers, WDS or MDT is the best choice because scalability, complexity management and the automation. So scalability, it allows for the simultaneous deployment of images across hundreds of devices over the network. And complexity management, it can handle multiple vendor classes, drives or user groups, software configurations to task sequences and dynamic injections of drivers and applications. Automation, it minimizes the need for physical interaction with each device, saving significant time and resources. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, use a network-based remote installation tool. So let's move to the next question. The next question is which of the following types of social engineering attacks sends an unsolicited text message to user's mobile device? Option A, impersonation. Option B, phishing. Option C, spear phishing. Option D, smishing. And the correct answer for this question is option D, smishing. So let's check the explanation. So smishing, a combination of SMS and phishing, is a type of social engineering attack that specifically uses unsolicited text messages, a short message service, SMS, to trick individuals into divulging sensitive information or downloading malware. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, smishing. And this is the question. A user reports some signal sign-on errors to help desk technician, and currently the user is able to sign in into the company's application portal but cannot access a specific SaaS-based tool. So which of the following would the technician most likely suggest as a next step? Option A, re-enroll the user's mobile device to be used as an MFA token. Option B, use a private browsing window to avoid local session conflicts. Option C, bypass single sign-on by directly authenticating to the application. Option D, reset the device being used to factory defaults. And the correct answer for this question is option B, use a private browsing window to avoid local session conflicts. So let's check the explanation. So this is the most logical next step because the user can already successfully authenticate to the primary company portal. The issue is isolated to a specific SaaS-based tool which suggests the single sign-on infrastructure is likely functioning correctly. But there may be a conflict with local browser data such as cache credentials, corrupted cookies, or an expired session token specific to that tool. So using a private window allows the technician to test the login in a clean environment without these local conflicts before moving to more invasive troubleshooting steps. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, use a private browsing window to avoid local session conflicts. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician verifies that a malware incident occurred on some computers in a small office. So which of the following should a technician do next? Option A, quarantine the infected systems. Option B, educate the end users. Option C, disable system restore. Option D, update the anti-malware and scan the computers. And the correct answer for this question is option A, quarantine the infected systems. So let's check the explanation. So according to the CompTIA A plus best practice procedures for malware removal, once a technician verifies malware symptoms, the immediate next step is quarantine the infected systems. So quarantining, often by disconnecting the system from all wired and wireless networks, prevents the malware from spreading to the computers on the network and stops it from communicating with external command and control servers. The standardized 7-step processes identify and research malware symptoms already completed in the prompt. Option 2 is quarantine the infected systems. Step 3, disable the system restore in Windows. Step 4, remediate the infected systems, update anti-malware and scan, remove. Step 5, schedule scans and run updates. Step 6, enable system restores and create a restore point. And step 7, educate the end user. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, quarantine the infected systems. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is a Linux command that is used for administrative purposes? Option A, run as. Option B, cmcl. Option C, net user. Option D, su. And the correct answer for this question is option T, su. So let's check the explanation. So the su means substitute user. Command is standard Linux utility used for administrative purposes. It allows the user to switch their current session to another user account, most commonly the root super user account, to perform tasks that require elevated permissions. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option T, su substitute user. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user recently installed an application that accesses a database from a local server when launching the application. It does not populate any information. Which of the following command line tools is the best to troubleshoot the issue? Option A, ipconfig. Option B, nslookup. Option C, netstat. Option D, curl. And the correct answer for this question is option C, netstat. So let's check the explanation. The netstat network statistics command is the best tool for this scenario because it displays active network connections, listening ports, and the status of TCP/IP sessions. So in this case, it allows the user to verify connectivity, see if the application is attempting to establish a connection to the database server's specific IP address and port. Check port status, identify if the necessary port is in SIM send state, indicating failed connection attempt, or if the connection is established. Last option is diagnose blockages to determine if the local machine is successfully communicating within the remote servers at the protocol level. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, netstat. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a small office reported a phishing attack that results in malware infection. A technician is investigating the incident and has verified the following. All endpoints are updated and have the newest EDR signatures. Logs confirm that the malware was quarantined by EDR on one system. The potentially infected machine was re-imaged. So which of the following actions should the technician take first? Option A, install network security tools to prevent downloading infected files from the internet. Option B, discuss the cause of the issue and educate end user about security hygiene. Option C, flash the firmware of the router to ensure the integrity of network traffic. Option D, suggest alternative prevention controls that would include more advanced security software. And the correct answer for this question is option B, discuss the cause of the issue and educate the end user about security hygiene. So let's check the explanation. After a technician has verified that endpoints are updated, confirmed the malware was quarantined, and successfully re-imaged the system, the technical remediation steps, containment, eradications, and recovery are complete. Since the incident originated from a phishing attack, the root cause was human error rather than a technical failure of the security software. Educating end user on security hygiene and how to identify phishing attempts is the essential next step to prevent future occurrences of the same issue. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, discuss the cause of the issue and educate the end user about security hygiene. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following describes a vulnerability that has been exploited before a patch or remediation is available? Option A, spoofing. Option B, brute force. Option C, DOS. Option D, 0-day. And the correct answer for this question is option D, 0-day. So let's check the explanation. A 0-day vulnerability refers to a security flaw in software or hardware that is unknown to the vendor. Because the developer is unaware of the issue, they have had 0 days to create a fix. And exploit targeting this flaw is particularly dangerous because it occurs before any patch or official remediation is available to the public. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, 0-day. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a help desk technician is setting up speech recognition on a Windows system. So which of the following settings should a technician use? Option A, time and language. Option B, personalization. Option C, system. Option D, easy of access. And the correct answer for this question is option D, easy of access. So let's check the explanation. So in Windows system, speech recognition is classified as an accessibility feature. To set up it up, a technician should navigate to the easy of access category, often labeled as accessibility in newer Windows 11 versions. From there, the technician can enable the feature, set up the microphone, and train the computer to recognize the user's voice. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, easy of access. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user receives a new personal computer but is unable to run an applications. An error displays saying that .NET Framework 3.5 is required and not found. So which of the following actions is the best way to resolve this issue? Option A, resolve the dependency through the turn Windows features on or off menu. Option B, download the dependency via third-party repository. Option C, ignore the dependency and install the latest version 4 instead. Option D, forward the trouble ticket to the SOC team because the issue poses a great security risk. And the correct answer for this question is option A, resolve the dependency through the turn Windows feature on or off menu. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, built-in feature Windows 10 and 11 include .NET Framework 3.5, which includes 2.0 and 3.0. As an optional feature, using the turn Windows features on or off menu allows the OS to fetch and install the correct verified files directly from Windows Update. And compatibility, many older applications specifically requires the 3.5 version and will not function with newer version alone. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, resolve the dependency through the turn Windows feature on or off menu. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an employee is using a photo editing program. Certain features are disabled and require login, which the employee does not have. So which of the following is a way to resolve this issue? Option A, license assignment. Option B, VPN connection. Option C, application repair. Option D, program reinstallation. And the correct answer for this question is option A, license assignment. So let's check the explanation. The issue is that employee lacks the necessary credentials login to access specific features within the software. In modern software environments like Adobe Creative Cloud or Microsoft 365, features are often gated by user-based licensing. So by assigning a license to the employee's account, the administrator grants them the required login permissions to unlock those disabled features. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, license assignment. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician is deploying mobile devices and needs to prevent access to sensitive data if the devices are lost. So which of the following is the best way to prevent unauthorized access if the user is unaware that the phone is lost? Option A, encryption. Option B, remote wipe. Option C, geofencing. Option D, facial recognition. And the correct answer for this question is option A, encryption. So let's check the explanation. So encryption is the best preventive control in this scenario because it is passive measure that protects data regardless of whether the user is aware the device is missing. If a device is lost and the user does not notice, they cannot trigger a remote wipe. However, if the device is already encrypted, the sensitive data remains unreadable to an unauthorized person who finds it, even if they have physical access to the device. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, encryption. And this is the question. Which of the following is the quickest way to move from Windows 10 to Windows 11 without losing data? Option A, using GPU update. Option B, image deployment. Option C, clean install. And option D, in place upgrade. And the correct answer for this question is option D, in place upgrade. So let's check the explanation for this answer. And the explanation is, an in-place upgrade is the most efficient and direct method to transition from Windows 10 to Windows 11 because it replaces the existing operating system while automatically preserving all user files, applications, and settings. It can be initiated through the Windows Update settings or by setting the Windows 11 installation assistant, allowing for seamless transition without the need to manually backup and restore individual data points. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, in place upgrade. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, technicians are failing to document user contact information, device asset tags, and clear description of each issue in the ticketing system. So which of the following should a help desk management team implement for technicians to use on every call? Option A, service level agreements. Option B, call categories. Option C, standard operating procedures. Option D, knowledge base articles. And the correct answer for this question is standard operating procedures. So let's check the explanation. So standard operating procedures, SOPs, provide technicians with a mandatory step-by-step checklist or set to guidelines to follow for every call. Implementing SOPs ensures that all necessary information such as user contact details, device asset tags, and clear issue descriptions is consistently captured and documented in the ticketing system. This directly addresses the problem of inconsistent or missing documentation by making these steps a formal part of the technician's daily workflow. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, standard operating procedures. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, an application's performance is degrading over time. The application is slowing, but it never gives an error and does not crash. So which of the following tools should a technician use to start troubleshooting? Option A, reliability history. Option B, computer management. Option C, resource monitor. Option D, disk defragment. And the correct answer for this question is option C, resource monitor. So let's check the explanation. So resource monitor is the ideal tool for troubleshooting application slowness because it provides real-time data on how processes are utilizing CPU, memory, disk, and network resources. Since the application is degrading over time but not crashing or throwing errors, the technician needs to identify resource bottlenecks such as a memory leak or high disk input output that occur while the app is running. It allows a technician to drill down into specific processes to see exactly which resource is being exhausted as the performance worsens. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, resource monitor. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following file system types does the Linux operating system use? Option A, exFAT, option B, APFS, option C, ext4, option D, NTFS. And the correct answer for this question is option C, ext4, fourth extended file system. So let's check the explanation. The ext4 fourth extended file system is a native and most commonly used journaling file system for modern Linux distributions. It was designed specifically for the Linux kernel as an improvement over its predecessors. Ext2 and ext3 provides better performance, reliability, and support for larger volumes and files. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, ext4 fourth extended file system. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, which of the following methods would make data unrecoverable but allow the drive to be repurposed? Option A, deleting the partitions. Option B, implementing EFS. Option C, performing a low-level format. Option D, degaussing the device. And the correct answer for this question is option C, performing a low-level format. So let's check the explanation. A low-level format often refer to in modern context as a zero field or drive wipe. So overrides the entire surface of the hard drive with new data, typically zeros. This process makes the original data virtually unrecoverable while maintaining the drive's mechanical and electronic integrity, allowing it to be repurposed or reused. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, performing a low level format. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, after recent mobile operating system upgrade to smartphone, a user attempts to access their corporate email, but the application does not open. A technician restarts the smartphone, but the issue persists. So which of the following is the most likely way to resolve the issue? Option A, updating the failed software. Option B, registering the smartphone with an MDM solution. Option C, installing a third-party client. Option D, clearing the cache partition. And the correct answer for this question is option A, updating the failed software. So let's check the explanation. So in this scenario, the issues likely stems from compatibility problems between the corporate email applications and the new mobile operating system upgrade. Where an application fails to open immediately following an OS update, it is often because the app requires a patch to function correctly with a new system architecture or APIs. Updating the application, referred to here the failed software, is the standard first step to resolve software level crashes that persist after a device restart. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, updating the failed software. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, users are reporting that an unsecure network is broadcasting with the same name as a normal wireless network. They are able to access the internet but cannot connect to the file shared servers. So which of the following best describes this issue? Option A, unreachable DNS server. Option B, virtual local area network misconfiguration. Option C, incorrect IP address. Option D, ROC wireless access point. And the correct answer for this question is option D, ROC wireless access point. So let's check the explanation. So this scenario describes a ROC wireless access point, also known as evil twin, when it mimics a legitimate SSID. Same SSID name means the unauthorized access point uses the same name as the legitimate network to trick devices into connected to it automatically. Unsecure, so ROG APIs are often set up without encryption, unsecure, to make them more attractive for devices to join. Internet access but no internal access, that means the attacker typically provides internet access to avoid suspicious but does not have a connection to the internal corporate network. So because the ROS access point is isolated from the company's wired infrastructure, users cannot reach internal resources like file shared servers. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, ROC wireless access point. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a computer technician is implementing a solution to support a new internet browsing policy for a customer's business. The policy prohibits users from accessing unauthorized websites based on categorizations. So which of the following should the technician configure on the Soho router? Option A, secure management access. Option B, group policy editor. Option C, content filtering. Option D, firewall. And the correct answer for this question is option C, content filtering. So let's check the explanation. So content filtering is a specific security feature used to block or allow access to websites based on categories such as gambling, social media or violence, URLs or keywords. By confining these on Soho small office home office router, the technician can enforce an internet browsing policy at the network edge, ensuring all connected devices adhere to the business categorizations rule. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, content filtering. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, recently the number of users sharing smartphones passcodes has increased. The management team wants a technician to deploy a more secure screen lock method. Which of the following technologies should the technician use? Option A, pattern lock. Option B, facial recognition. Option C, device encryption. Option D, multi-factor authentication. And the correct answer for this question is option B, facial recognition. So let's check the explanation. The primarily security issues described is the sharing of passcodes, which are knowledge-based credentials. So facial recognition is a biometric authentication method that uses unique physical characteristics to verify identity. Unlike passcodes or patterns, biometric data is inherent to the individual and cannot be easily shared with others or guests. Implementing this technology directly mitigates the risk of unauthorized access via shared credentials, satisfying the management team's requirement for a more secure lock method. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, facial recognition. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an end user's laptop is having network drive connectivity issues in the office. The end user submits a help desk ticket and support technician is able to establish a remote connection and fix the issue. The following day, however, the network drive is disconnected again. So which of the following should the technician do next? Option A, connect remotely to the user's computer to see whether the network drive is still connected. Option B, send documentation about how to fix the issue in case it reoccurs. Option C, escalate the ticket to the next level. Option D, keep the ticket open until next day, then close the ticket. And the correct answer for this question is option C, escalate the ticket to the next level. So let's check the explanation. So escalation is the most appropriate next step because the initial fix performed by the technician was temporary and did not address the root cause. When a problem recurs immediately after preassumed resolution, it often points to an underlying configuration issue, such as a failing login script, group policy conflict, or persistent network stability that requires advanced permissions or expertise beyond basic remote troubleshooting. Moving the ticket to a high tier of support ensure that a more thorough investigation is conducted to provide a permanent solution. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, escalate the ticket to the next level. And this is the question. A technician needs to configure laptops so that only administrators can enable virtualization technology if needed. So which of the following should a technician configure? Option A, BIOS password. Option B, guest account. Option C, screen lock. Option D, auto run setting. And the correct answer for this question is option A, BIOS password. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is to restrict hardware level settings such as virtualization technology to administrators, only a BIOS password, also known as a UEFI password, must be configured. Virtualization is typically enabled or disabled within the system firmware settings, BIOS, UEFI, before the operating system even loads. By setting a password on these format settings, the technician ensures that standard users cannot access the menu to make hardware changes, effectively reserving that control for authorized administrators. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, BIOS password. So let's go to the next question. And the next question is, which of the following file types would a desktop support technician most likely use to automate tasks for Windows user login? Option A, .bat, option B, .sh, option C, .py, option D, .js. And the correct answer for this question is option A, .bat. So let's check the explanation. So .bat batch file is a script file natively supported by Windows that contains a sequence of commands executed by the command line interpreter. Desktop support technicians commonly use batch files to automate repetitive login tasks such as mapping network drives, example using the net use command, setting environment variables for the user session, launching specific applications or scripts automatically upon startup, copying files such as personal storage.pst files to network backup at login. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, .bat. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician uses AI to draft a proposal about the benefits of new software. So when reading the draft, the technician notices that the draft contains factually incorrect information. So which of the following best describes this scenario? Option A, data privacy. Option B, hallucinations. Option C, appropriate use. Option D, plagiarism. And the correct answer for this question is option B, hallucinations. And let's check the explanation. In the context of artificial intelligence and large language models, LLMs, hallucinations occurs when the AI generates content that is factually incorrect, nonsensical, or detached from reality despite appearing confident and fluent. This is well-known limitations of generative AI tools where the model predicts the next most likely word or sequence based on patterns in its training data rather than verifying informations against a factual database. So that's why the correct answer for this question is hallucinations. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following describes an attack in which an attacker sets up a rogue AP that tricks users into connecting to the raw AP instead of the legitimate network? Option A, stalkerware. Option B, evil twin. Option C, tailgating. Option D, shoulder surfing. And the correct answer for this question is option B, evil twin. So let's check the explanation. An evil twin attacks occurs when an attacker sets up wireless access point that broadcasts the same SSID network name as a legitimate network. The goal is to trick users' devices into connecting to the ROG AP, often by using a stronger signal or sending the authentication frames to disconnect them from the real network. Once a user connects, the attacker can intercept their traffic, a man in the middle attack, to steal credentials or sensitive data. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, evil twin. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user is experiencing issues with outdated images while browsing websites. Which of the following settings should a technician use to correct this issue? Option A, administrative tools. Option B, Windows Defender Firewall. Option C, internal internet options. Option D, easy of access. And the correct answer for this question is option C, internet options. So let's check the explanation. Outdated images on websites are typically caused by cache data. Browsers store copies of images locally in the cache to speed up loading times. However, if a website updates in image, but the browser continues to serve the old version from its local storage, the user sees outdated content in Windows. The Internet Options utility found in the control panel allows a technician to manage browser settings, specifically the ability to clear the cache, temporary internet files, and cookies, which forces the browser to download the most recent versions of the images from the web server. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, Internet Options. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, every time a user loads a specific spreadsheet, their computer is temporarily unresponsive. The user also notices that the title bar indicates the applications are not responding. So which of the following would a technician most likely inspect? Option A, anti-malware logs. Option B, workstation repair options. Option C, bandwidth status as reported in the task manager. Option D, file size and deleted memory utilizations. And the correct answer for this question is option T, file size and related memory utilizations. So let's check the explanation. A very large or complex spreadsheets containing thousands of rows, numerous formulas or linked data can consume excessive RAM memory and CPU cycles. When a spreadsheet applications like Excel tries to process this heavy volume of data upon loading, it may exhaust available system resources, causing the application to hang and the title bar to display a not responding message while the computer becomes temporarily unresponsive. Checking the file size and monitoring memory usage in the task manager allows a technician to confirm if resources executions is the root cause. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option T, file size and related memory utilizations. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a user frequently misplaces their Windows laptop and is concerned about it being stolen. The user would like additional security controls on their laptop. So which of the following is a built-in technology that a technician can use to enable full drive encryption? Option A, Active Directory. Option B, New Technology File System. Option C, Encrypting File System. Option D, BitLocker. And the correct answer for this question is option D, BitLocker. So let's check the explanation. So BitLocker is the primary tool in Windows for securing internal drives. It typically uses a trusted platform model TPM chip on the motherboard to store encryption keys securely, providing a seamless user experience while maintaining high level security against physical theft. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, BitLocker. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is used to apply corporate restrictions on Apple device? Option A, App Store. Option B, VPN configuration. Option C, Apple ID. Option D, management profile. And the correct answer for this question is option D, management profile. So let's check the explanation. A management profile, also known as configuration profile, is a file deployed via mobile device management MDM solutions that allows IT administrators to remotely enforce corporate security policies and restrictions on Apple devices. These profiles can control system level settings such as requiring a passcode, restricting the use of the camera, blocking specific apps like App Store, and configuring Wi-Fi or VPN settings. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, management profile. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user's new smartphone is not staying charging throughout the day. The smartphone charges fully every night. Which of the following should a technician review first to troubleshoot the issue? Option A, storage usage. Option B, end of software support. Option C, charger wattage. Option D, background applications. And the correct answer for this question is option D, background applications. So let's check the explanation. High battery consumptions, applications running in the background are primarily cause of rapid battery drain because they continue to consume CPU cycles, memory, and data even when the phone is not actively being used. Logical first step, checking for power hungry background apps is a non-invasive diagnostic step. Most modern smartphones have built-in battery usage statistics that highlight exactly which apps are responsible for the highest utilizations. New device context, since the smartphone is a new, issues like battery degradations or end of supports are unlikely. High consumption is typically linked to user install apps or system processes running unnecessarily. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, background applications. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a customer is unable to open some files on the system. Each time the customer attempts to open a file, the customer receives a message that the file is encrypted. So which of the following best describes this issue? Option A, keylogger. Option B, ransomware. Option C, phishing. Option D, crypto miner. And the correct answer for this question is option B, ransomware. So let's check the explanation. The scenario describes a classic ransomware infection. These types of malware performs the following actions: Encryption, it uses cryptographic algorithms to lock the victim's data, such as documents, photos, and databases. Access blocking, once encrypted, the files cannot be opened by the user through normal means. Messaging, the malware displays a message or ransom note informing the user that their files are encrypted and demanding payments, usually in cryptocurrency, to provide a decryption key. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option P, ransomware. And this is the question. So which of the following provides information to employees such as permitted activities when using the organization's resources? Option A, AUP, option B, MNDA, option C, DRM, option D, EULA. And the correct answer for this question is option A, AUP. So let's check the explanation, and the explanation is AUP, an acceptable use policy, is a formal set of rules and guidelines established by an organization that defines how its computer network, devices, and resources should be used. It specifically provides information to employees and other users regarding permitted activities, actions that are allowed, such as work-related internet browsing or authorized software use, restricted prohibited activities, prohibitions on illegal acts, harassment, or using company resources for personal gain. Responsibilities, employee obligations to maintain security and respect privacy while using organization assets. That's why the correct answer for this question is AUP, an acceptable use policy. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a technician needs to install an operating system on a large number of workstations. So which of the following is the fastest method? Option A, physical media. Option B, mountable ISO. Option C, manual installation. Option D, image deployment. And the correct answer for this question is option D, image deployment. So let's check the explanation for this answer. And the explanation is, image deployment is the fastest method for installing an operating system on a large number of workstations because it allows a technician to capture a single fully configured OS setup, the image, and distribute it to multiple machines simultaneously over a network. This method avoids the need to manually configure each computer, as image already includes in the OS drivers and pre-install applications. Tools like PXE boot, pre-boot execution environment are commonly used to initiate this process without needing physical media for every station. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, image deployment. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user is working from home and is unable to access work files on a company laptop. So which of the following should a technician configure to fix the network access issue? Option A, wide area network. Option B, wireless network. Option C, proxy network settings. Option D, virtual private network. And the correct answer for this question is option D, virtual private network. So let's check the explanation. A virtual private network (VPN) creates a secure encrypted tunnel over the public internet between a remote device like a home laptop and a private corporate network. Once connected, the laptop behaves as if it's physically connected to the internal office network, allowing user to access internal file servers, databases, and other company-only resources that are otherwise blocked for security reasons. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, virtual private network. And the next question is, a technician is troubleshooting an issue in which a service runs momentarily and stops at certain points in the process. The technician needs to determine the root cause of this issue. So which of the following tools should a technician use? Option A, Event Viewer. Option B, Task Manager. Option C, Internet Options. Option D, Process Explorer. And the correct answer for this question is option A, Event Viewer. So let's check the explanation. So Event Viewer is the primary tool for investigating services that fail or stop unexpectedly. It records system logs, application logs, and security logs that contain specific error codes and messages generated at the exact moment a service fails. By reviewing the application or system logs within Event Viewer, a technician can identify the specific event ID or dependency failure causing the service to stop. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, Event Viewer. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is an example of an application publisher including undisclosed additional software in an installation package? Option A, virus. Option B, ransomware. Option C, potentially unwanted program. Option D, Trojan. And the correct answer for this question is option C, potentially unwanted program. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, a potentially unwanted program PUP or potentially unwanted application PUA refers to software that a user may perceive as unwanted or unnecessary. A defining characteristic of PUPs is that application publishers often bundle them into the installation packages of legitimate software. These additional programs are often undisclosed or hidden behind custom installation settings and may include. So adware is a program that displays instructive advertising, spyware, software that tracks internet usage or personal information without clear consent, and browser toolbars, extra utilities that change browser settings or inject advertisements. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, PUP, potentially unwanted program. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician needs to map a shared drive from a command line interface. So which of the following command should the technician use? Option A, path ping. Option B, NSLOOKUP. Option C, net use. Option D, traceRT. And the correct answer for this question is option C, net use. So let's check the explanation. The net use command is a Windows command line utility specifically designed to connect, disconnect, and view shared network resources. It allows a technician to map a network shared to specific local drive later using the syntax net use drive later server/share. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, net use. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, helpdesk team was alerted that a company-owned cell phone has an unrecognized password cracking application. So which of the following should the helpdesk team do to prevent further unauthorized installations from occurring? Option A, configure group policy. Option B, implement PM. Option C, install anti-malware software. Option D, deploy MDM. And the correct answer for this question is option D, deploy MDM. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, the best way to prevent further unauthorized installations on company-owned mobile devices is to deploy MDM, mobile device management. So MDM solutions allows administrators to enforce security policies specifically for mobile operating system, such as application control, creating allows list or deny list to restrict which apps can be installed, security enforcement, disabling unauthorized app stores or preventing side loading of applications, remote management, monitoring device compliance and remotely wiping or locking devices if unauthorized software is detected. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, deploy MDM. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is used in addition to a password to implement MFA? Option A, sending to code to the user's phone. Option B, verifying the user's date of birth. Option C, prompting the users to solve a simple math problem. Option D, requiring the user to enter a PIN. And the correct answer for this question is option A, sending a code to the user's phone. So this is the question. A technician is preparing to replace the batteries in rack-mounted UPS system after ensuring the power is turned off and the batteries are fully discharged. The technician needs to remove the battery modules from the bottom of the rack. So which of the following steps should the technician take? Option A, ensure the fire suppression system is ready to be activated. Option B, use appropriate lifting techniques and guidelines. Option C, place the remove batteries in an anti-static bag. Option D, wear a face mask to filter out any harmful fumes. And the correct answer for this question is option B, use appropriate lifting techniques and guidelines. And the correct answer for this question is option B, use appropriate lifting techniques and guidelines. So let's check the explanation. So UPS interruptible power supply battery modules, especially those in the rack mounted systems, are extremely heavy and often located at the bottom of the rack to maintain a low center of gravity. So removing them requires proper lifting techniques such as bending at the knees, keeping a straight back and keeping the load close to the body. Prevent musculoskeletal injuries. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, use appropriate lifting techniques and guidelines. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a technician is setting up a surveillance system for a customer. The customer wants access to the system's web interface on the LAN via the system's IP address. So which of the following should the technician use to prevent external login attempts from the internet? Option A, port mapping. Option B, subnetting. Option C, static IP. Option D, content filtering. And the correct answer for this question is option A, port mapping. So let's check the explanation. So port mapping, also known as a port forwarding, is the process of directing external traffic from a specific port on a gateway router to an internal IP address and port on the LAN. To prevent external login attempts, the technician ensures that no port mapping rules are created for the surveillance system's web interface. By leaving these ports unmapped or closed on the router's WAN side, the interface remains accessible via its private IP address within the local network, but is invisible and unreachable from the internet. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, port mapping. And the question is, a technician completes the installation of an operating system that appears to be successful. However, when the technician removes a USB drive that was used for the installation and restarts the system, the following error appears: no operating system found. So which of the following should the technician do next to resolve the issue? Option A, reinstall the operating system from a new ISO image. Option B, enable UEFI devices in the BIOS. Option C, restart in recovery mode and troubleshoot. Option D, install the storage drivers for the motherboard. Option E, reset the SATA cable. And the correct answer for this question is option B, enable UEFI devices in the BIOS. So let's check the explanation. The no OS found errors occurs because the system's firmware BIOS/UEFI cannot find a bootable device after the installation media USB drive is removed. In modern systems, if the operating system was installed using a UEFI Unified Extensible Firmware Interface partition style like GPT, but the BIOS is set to true for legacy BIOS devices, or if UEFI boot is disabled, it will fail to see the newly installed operating system on the internal drive. So enabling UEFI devices or ensuring the boot mode matches the installation type allows the firmware to correctly identify and hand off the boot process to the operating system. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, enable UEFI devices in the BIOS. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, which of the following is a protocol that provides AAA for network services? Option A, Radius. Option B, Kerberos. Option C, TKIP. Option D, WPA3. And the correct answer for this question is option A, Radius. So let's check the explanation. So Radius is a remote authentication dial-in user service, is a networking protocol specifically designed to provide a centralized AAA authentication, authorizations and accounting framework for users connecting to and using network services. It operates as a client-server protocol where the network access server, the client communicates with a central Radius server to verify user credentials. Authentication, determine the level of access permitted, authorizations, and track the user sessions time and data usage accounting. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, Radius. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an employee is trying to connect their company laptop to an airport's Wi-Fi during a business trip. Once the network is connected, a pop-up window appears with the airport logo, so which the employee quickly closes. The internet connection is not working properly and the employee cannot access any websites. So which of the following should a help desk technician suggest to the employee? Option A, look for a wall socket with RJ45 and try to connect the laptop to it. Option B, contact the airport IT department. Option C, tell the employee that company policy prohibits connection to public Wi-Fi. And option D, reconnect to the network and read the pop-up carefully. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, reconnect to the network and read the pop-up carefully. So let's check the explanation. So the pop-up is captive portal required for authenticating or accepting terms of service to access public Wi-Fi. Closing it prevents internet access so it must be completed. So why option D is correct? Airport Wi-Fi networks typically use captive portals that require users to accept terms or log in before browsing. And why other options are incorrect? The issue is standard configuration state captive portal, not a broken network A or B, or necessarily a violation of public policy C that requires abandoning the connections. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, reconnect to the network and read the pop-up carefully. So let's move to the next question. The next question is a technician installs a Bluetooth headset for a user. During testing, the sound is still coming from the speaker on the computer. The technician verifies the headset, shows up in a device manager. Switch off the following would the technician most likely do to fix the issue? Option A, update the drivers for the wireless headset. Option B, replace the battery on the headset and try again later. Option C, verify that the sound is not muted in the control panel. Option D, change the headset as the default device in the sound settings. And the correct answer for this question is option D, change the headsets as the default device in sound settings. So let's check the explanation. So when a Bluetooth headset is paired and visible in the device manager, it indicates that hardware is recognized and the drivers are functioning. However, Windows does not always automatically switch the audio output from the internal speakers to newly connected device. By changing the headset to the default device in the sound settings, the technician directs the operating system to prioritize the headset for audio playback. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option T, change the headset as the default device in sound settings. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, users' applications only work with a legacy version of the operating system. The operating system is reaching its end of life date. For security reasons, the company is migrating to the current version of the OS. So which of the following is the most efficient way to complete the migration while maintaining accessibility to the application? Option A, terminal server. Option B, bare metal server. Option C, multi-boot. Option D, virtualization. And the correct answer for this question is option D, virtualization. So let's check the explanation. So virtualization is the most efficient solution because it allows the company to run the legacy OS and its dependent application within an isolated virtual machine. This enables the primary hardware, the host, to be upgraded to the current secure version of the OS while the legacy application remains accessible in its own compatible virtualized environment. So this approach avoids the need for costly application rewrites and maintains security by isolating the end-of-life OS from the modern product environment. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, virtualization. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician needs to disable guest logins on domain joined desktop machines. So which of the following should the technician use? Option A, group policy. Option B, firewall. Option C, Microsoft management control. Option D, MS config. And the correct answer for this question is option A, group policy. So let's check the explanation. So group policy is the primary tool for centralized management and configuration of operating systems, applications, user settings in an Active Directory environment. To disable guest logins on domain joined machines, the technician would configure a group policy object GPO. Officially, the setting counts guest account status and set to disable. This ensures the policies automatically and consistently enforced across all desktop machines joined to the domain. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, group policy. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, after using a third-party disk optimization software package, a technician restarts a laptop and receives the message, no operating system found. The technician verifies that the BIOS properly recognized the SSD. Which of the following should the technician do next? Option A, update BitLocker settings in the BIOS. Option B, replace the CMOS battery. Option C, turn on from installation media and repair the MBR. Option D, isolate the system from the corporate network. And the correct answer for this question is option C, turn on from installation media and repair the MBR. So let's check the explanation. The error message "No operating system found" occurs when the system BIOS UEFI successfully identifies the physical storage device SSD but cannot find a valid bootloader or partition table to start the operating system. In this scenario, the third-party disk optimization software likely corrupted the master boot record MBR or the boot configuration data BCD during its operations. So booting from external installation media allows a technician to access recovery tools such as command prompt. So to run commands like boot reg/fix MBR or boot reg/rebuild BCD to restore the boot sector and allow the OS to load. So that's why the correct answer for this question is turn on from installation media and repair the MBR. So let's move to the next question. The next question is a user reports that their corporate mobile phone is lost. So which of the following protects the data locally on the phone from unauthorized access? Option A, password manager. Option B, diagnosing. Option C, remote wipe. Option D, antivirus. And the correct answer for this question is option C, remote wipe. So let's check the explanation. So remote wipe is a security feature that allows an administrator or device owner to send a command over a network to a lost or stolen mobile device, instructing it to delete all data. This is the most direct method to protect sensitive information locally on the phone once it is no longer in the user's possession. By returning the device to factory settings or specifically targeting corporate data, it ensures that unauthorized parties cannot access the stored information even if they bypass physical or biometric locks. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, remote wipe. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, which of the following security technologies is designed to enable security visibility and respond to traffic outside of the host and at the network level? Option A, radius. Option B, USC. Option C, XDR. Option D, antivirus. And the correct answer for this question is option C, XDR. So let's check the explanation. So XDR is extended detection and response, is a security technology that integrates data from multiple security layers, including endpoints, servers, cloud workloads, and a network to provide holistic visibility. Unlike endpoint only solutions, XDR is specifically designed to correlate alerts and respond to threats across different vectors, including network level traffic outside of the individual host. So that's why the correct answer for this question is XDR, extended detections and response. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a user receives a push notification to approve or deny a login request when using a MFA. So which of the following describe the security measures? Option A, one-time password. Option B, zero trust model. Option C, authenticator applications. Option D, privilege access management. And the correct answer for this question is option C, authenticator applications. So let's check the explanation. So push notification authentication is a specific feature of many modern authenticator applications. Example, Microsoft Authenticator, Duo, Okta. When a user attempts to log in, the application sends an out-of-band notification to the registered mobile device. The user simply taps approve or deny within the app to complete the multi-factor authentication process. Verifies their identity by demonstrating possession of the physical device. So that's why the correct answer for this question is authenticator application. And this is the question. A customer wants to be able to work from home but does not want to be responsible for bringing company equipment back and forth. So which of the following would allow the user to remotely access and use a Windows PC at the main office? So choose two options out of this. Option A, Spice. Option B, SSH. Option C, RDH. Option D, VPN. Option E, RMM. Option F, WinRM. And the correct answer for this question is option C, RDH, and option D, VPN. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is to remotely access and use a Windows PC from a home without moving hardware. A combination of a connectivity tool and a security layer is required. So first one is a RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. So this is a proprietary Microsoft protocol that allows a user to see and control the graphical desktop of a remote Windows computer as if they were sitting directly in front of it. And second option is VPN, virtual private network. So this creates a secure encrypted tunnel from the user's home network to the office network because RDP generally not safe or exposed directly to the open internet. A VPN is used first to place the home computer inside the office network, allowing it to initiate a secure RDP session. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C and option D. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a company wants to use a single operating system for its workstation and servers and avoid licensing fees. So which of the following operating systems would the company most likely select? Option A Linux, option B Windows, option C macOS, option D Chrome OS. And the correct answer for this question is option A Linux. So let's check the explanation. So open source nature, Linux is an open source operating system, meaning its source code is freely available for anyone to use, modify and distribute. And no licensing fees. Most Linux distributions such as Ubuntu, Debian and Center OS are free to download and install. Organizations can deploy them across any number of workstations and servers without incurring pre-seed or pre-server licensing costs. Versatility, Linux is a highly flexible and excels in both workstations and server environments. It is the dominant choice for web servers and cloud infrastructure due to its stability and performance. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, Linux. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a user is attempting to open on mobile phone a HD video that is hosted on a popular media streaming website. The user is receiving connection timeout errors. The mobile reception icon area is showing two bars next to 3G. So which of the following is the most likely cause of the issue? Option A, the user does not have Wi-Fi enabled. Option B, the website subscriptions has run out. Option C, the bandwidth is not fast enough. Option D, the mobile device storage is full. And the correct answer for this question is option C, the bandwidth is not fast enough. So let's check the explanation. So streaming HD video typically requires a stable network throughout at least 5 Mbps or more. The user's device is connected to a 3G network with only 2 bars of signal, which indicates both an older, slower cellular technology and a weak connection. Basic 3G speeds often range only 144 kbps to 2 Mbps, which is insufficient to sustain the high data requirements of an HD stream, leading to the connection timeout. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, the bandwidth is not fast enough. So let's move to the next question. The next question is a technician notices that a weekly backup is taking too long to complete. The daily backups are incremental. Which of the following would most likely resolve the issue? Option A, changing the backup window. Option B, performing incremental weekly backups. Option C, increasing the backup storage. Option D, running synthetic full weekly backups. And the correct answer for this question is option D, running synthetic full weekly backups. So let's check the explanation. So synthetic full backups resolve the issue of long running weekly backups by creating a new full backup image on the storage side rather than reading all the data from some source computer. And consolidation, they combine the previous full backup with subsequent incremental backups to create a new synthetic full point in time. Performance, the method drastically reduces the impact on the client machine and the network because data is processed directly within the backup repository instead of being re-uploaded from the production server. Efficiency, it provides the restore speed benefits of a full backup while maintaining the low bandwidth requirements of incremental backups. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, running synthetic full weekly backups. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a help desk technician needs to remove RAM from retired workstations and upgrade other workstations that have applications that use more memory with this RAM. So which of the following actions would the technician most likely take? Option A, demagnetize memory for security. Option B, use anti-static bags for storage and transport. Option C, plug in the power supply to ground each workstation. Option D, install memory in identical pairs. And the correct answer for this question is option B, use anti-static bags for storage and transport. So let's check the explanation. So RAM, random access memory, consists of highly sensitive electronic components that can be easily damaged by electrostatic discharge. When RAM is removed from a workstation and not immediately installed into another, it must be stored and moved in anti-static bags to protect it from static electricity build-up and discharge. This practice is standard-free procedures in IT ensure that the hardware remains functional for reuse in other systems. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, use anti-static bags for storage and transport. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a customer's computer does not have an active connection to the network. A technician goes through a few troubleshooting steps but is unable to resolve the issue. The technician has exhausted their knowledge. The customer expressed frustration at the time taken to resolve this issue. So which of the following should the technician do? Option A, escalate the issue to a senior team member and provide next steps to the customer. Option B, dismiss the customer and reschedule another troubleshooting session at a later date. Option C, interrupt the customer and express that troubleshooting support tickets can take time. Option D, maintain a positive attitude and continue to ask questions regarding the scope of the issue. And the correct answer for this question is option A, escalate the issue to a senior team member and provide next steps to the customer. So let's check the explanation. So when a technician has exhausted their knowledge and customer is becoming frustrated, the professional's and efficient course of action is to escalate the issue. This ensures the problem is handled by someone with more expertise, like a senior team member, while keeping the customer informed of the next steps to the manager expectations and reduce frustration. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, escalate the issue to a senior team member and provide next steps to the customer. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a company executive is currently attending a major music festival with a large number of attendees and is having trouble accessing a work email account. The email application is not downloading emails and also appears to become stuck during connection attempts. Which of the following is most likely causing the disruption? Option A, the phone has no storage space available. Option B, company firewalls are configured to block remote access to email resources. Option C, too many devices in the same area are trying to connect to the mobile network. And option D, the festival organizer prohibits internet uses during the event and has blocked the internet signal. And the correct answer for this question is option C, too many devices in the same area are trying to connect to the mobile network. So let's check the explanation. In a high density environment like a major music festival, a massive number of mobile devices attempt to connect to the same local cell tower simultaneously. This causes network congestions where the demand for bandwidth exceeds the capacity of the local infrastructure. Symptoms of this issue include stalled connections, the email application gets stuck because it cannot establish a reliable handshake with the server, failed downloads, data packets are dropped or delayed significantly, preventing emails from downloading. Slow data speeds, even if a connection is made, the throughput is often too low for functional use. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, too many devices in the same area and trying to connect to the mobile network. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a company recently transitioned to a cloud-based connectivity suites and wants to secure the environment from external threat actors. So which of the following is the most effective method? Option A, multi-factor authentication. Option B, encryption. Option C, backups. Option D, strong passwords. And the correct answer for this question is multi-factor authentication. So let's check the explanation. So multi-factor authentication is considered the most effective method for securing cloud-based connectivity suites against external threat actors. It adds a critical layer of defense by requiring two or more forms of verification before granting access. Even if an external actor manages to steal or guess a user's password, they cannot access the account. Without the additional factors such as a hardware token, mobile push notification, or biometric scan, it significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized account takeovers. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, multi-factor authentication. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a user reports getting a BSOD error on their computer at least twice a day. So which of the following should the technician use to determine the cause? Option A, event viewer. Option B, performance monitor. Option C, system informations. Option D, device manager. And the correct answer for this question is option A, event viewer. So let's check the explanation. So event viewer is the primary window utility used to investigate system crashes, including blue screens of death BSOD errors. When a BSOD occurs, Windows creates a log entry and often a memory dump file. Event viewer allows a technician to view these logs under the system category to find specific stop codes and error messages that identify the failing driver or hardware component. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, event viewer. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician is setting up a Windows server to allow remote desktop connections for multiple users. So which of the following should the technician configure on the workstation? Option A, firewall. Option B, computer management. Option C, user accounts. Option D, easy of access. And the correct answer for this question is option A, firewall. So let's check the explanation. To enable remote desktop protocol connections to Windows machines, the technician must configure the firewall to allow traffic through the necessary port, typically TCP 3389. While other settings like enabling remote desktop in the system properties are required, the firewall is the specific network security component that must be configured to permit incoming connection requests that would otherwise be blocked by default. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, firewall. And this is the question. An administrator is investigating a technical outage. The management team wants information that includes the summary of the outage and actions taken. So which of the following documentation should the administrator provide to the management team? Option A, knowledge base article. Option B, non-disclosure agreement. Option C, incident report. And option D, standard operating procedure. And the correct answer for this question is option C, incident report. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, an incident report is the formal document used to capture the details of a specific event, such as a technical outage. It is specifically designed to provide management with a chronological summary of what happened, the root cause, the impact of the outage, and the specific actions taken to resolve it. This document is a critical part of the post-incident review phase, ensuring that the organization learns from the event to prevent future occurrences. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, incident report. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician is troubleshooting a print spooler that repeatedly fails to start on a Windows 11 desktop computer. The technician determines the root causes required dependencies are failing to run. So which of the following tools is a technician using? Option A, processes. Option B, services. Option C, startup. Option D, performance. And the correct answer for this question is option B, services. So let's check the explanation. The services tool services.msc in Windows allows a technician to manage background processes, including the sprint pooler. Crucially, it features dependencies tab for each service that explicitly lists which other services must be running for that specific service to start. By using this tool, the technician can identify if a required component such as a remote procedure call RPC service has failed, preventing the spooler from initiating. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, services. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a user's computer is running slowly, web pages take several seconds to open, and applications are slow responding to user input. A technician opens the Windows Task Manager and sees the following information. disk is 2%, network is 12%, GPU is 15%, and CPU 70%, and memory is 97%. So which of the following would a technician most likely do to resolve the issue? Option A, clear browser cache data. Option B, update the network connection. Option C, close unnecessary programs. Option D, delete temporary files. And the correct answer for this question is option C, close unnecessary programs. So let's check the explanation. So based on the task manager data showing extremely high memory usage 97%, the most likely bottleneck is that RAM is exhausted, causing the system to swap data to the slower disk, thrashing, resulting in slow responsiveness. So close unnecessary programs, option C, to free up memory and reduce CPU load. So memory is 97%. This indicates that the system is almost completely out of RAM, forcing it to use the hard drive as a memory, which is much slower. And CPU 70%, high CPU usage combined with high memory usage suggests to many processes are active. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, close unnecessary programs. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a malicious actor uses multiple endpoints that are spread across multiple locations to target a single endpoint. So which of the following describe this threat? Option A, on-path attack. Option B, structure query language injection. Option C, brute force attack. Option D, distributed denial of service. And the correct answer for this question is option D, distributed denial of service. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, distributed denial of service DDoS attacks occurs when multiple compromised systems, often referred to as a botnet, are used to flood a single target system or network with traffic. By spreading the attack across multiple locations and endpoints, the malicious actors make it significantly harder to block the source of the traffic compared to a standard denial of service attack originating from a single machine. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, distributed denial of service. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, user decides to switch to Windows from a Linux and is trying to migrate data using an external USB hard drive. So however, when the user connects the cable to the Windows machine, an error message appears stating the device must be formatted before it can be used. The hard disk works as expected when connected to the Linux machine. So which of the following should the user do to resolve the issue? Option A, configure Windows Firewall to allow data from Linux systems. Option B, replace the cable with Windows supported hardware. Option C, apply a firmware update from the PC manufacturer. Option D, update the file allocation system to exFAT. And the correct answer for this question is option D, update the file allocation system to exFAT. So let's check the explanation. The user should reformat the external hard drive to a file system compatible with both operating systems such as exFAT, option D, or Linux native file system like ext4 cannot be read by Windows natively, so causing the format before use error. So that's why the correct answer is option D, update the file allocation system to exFAT. Because the Linux supports many format ext4, XFS, but Windows requires NTFS, exFAT or FAT32 to read-write files natively. So converting the drive to exFAT ensures compatibility. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an end user discovers a virus on their computer. A technician quarantines the computer, scans for viruses, and remediates the infection. So which of the following is the next step the technician should take? Option A, perform a secondary antivirus scan. Option B, educate the end user. Option C, reimage the computer. Option D, review system logs. And the correct answer for this question is option B, educate the end user. So let's check the explanation. So this question follows the CompTIA A+ 7-step malware removal best practices. In the scenario provided, the technician has already completed step 1, identify, step 2, quarantine, and step 4, remediate. So according to the official methodology, the steps are: first one is identify malware symptoms. Step 2 is quarantine the infected systems. Step 3 is disable system restore in Windows. Step 4, remediate the infected systems, update anti-malware and scan remove. Step 5, schedule scans and run updates. Step 6, enable system restored and create a restore point. And step 7, educate the end user. So since remediate is the last completed action mentioned and the subsequent technical verification step, scheduling scans and enabling restore points are not provided as options, so educating the end user is the next appropriate step from the list to ensure long-term prevention. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, educate the end user. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an administrator requires information about a server to identify the product owner and whether it has any business critical services. So which of the following can the administrator refer to in order to find this information? Option A, CMDB, option B, SLA, option C, SOP, option D, ULA. And the correct answer for this question is option A, CMDB, a configuration management database. So let's check the explanation. So CMDB is a centralized repository used by IT organizations to store information about hardware and software assets known as configuration items, CIs. It is specifically designed to identify asset owner, track who is responsible for a specific server or product, map relationships, show the connections between physical assets and the business critical services that they support, and support impact analysis, help administrator understand which services will be affected if a server goes down. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, CMDB. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, an administrator must rename the administrator account on a Windows desktop. So which of the following tools is best for this task? So option A is lusrmgr.msc, option B dvmgmt.msc, option C gptit.msc, and option D eventweaver.msc. And the correct answer for this question is lusrmgr.msc. That means local users and groups. So let's check the explanation. So local users and groups tool is the primary Microsoft Management Console MMC snap-in used to manage local user accounts and groups on a Windows desktop. To rename an administrator account, an administrator can open this tool, navigate to the user's folder, right-click the described account such as the built-in administrator and select rename. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, the lusrmgr.msc. That means local users and groups. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following malware types typically has very high computing resource uses? Option A, rootkit, option B, cryptominer, option C, boot sector virus, option D, Trojan. And the correct answer for this question is option B, cryptominer. So let's check the explanation. A cryptominer or cryptojacking malware is specifically designed to use a victim's hardware, primarily the CPU and GPU, to perform the complex mathematical calculations required to mine cryptocurrency. Because mining is a computationally intensive process, this type of malware typically results in extremely high resource usage, often causing the system to become sluggish, overheat, or even crash. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, cryptominer. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, the battery on a user's smartphone discharges quickly when the users travel. The smartphones was replaced 2 weeks ago. So which of the following should a technician do first? Option A, replace the battery with a higher capacity options. Option B, provide an external battery to extend the usage time. Option C, ensure that the charging port is working as expected. Option D, look for applications that are reporting the highest utilization. And the correct answer for this question is option D, look for applications that are reporting the highest utilizations. So let's check the explanation. So when a smartphone is replaced but continues to exhibit rapid battery drain, especially during travel, The issue is likely related to software or configuration rather than hardware. In a travel scenario, specific applications such as GPS-based investigation, weather apps, or social media often increases their background activity, location polling, and cellular data uses to account for changing locations and roaming. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D. Look for applications that are reporting the highest utilization. And this is the question. An organization is experiencing an increased number of issues. A technician notices applications that are not installed by default. Users are reporting an increased number of system prompts for software licensing. Which of the following would the security team most likely do to remediate the root cause? Option A, deploy an internal PKI to filter encrypted web traffic. Option B, removes users from the local admin group. Option C, implement stronger controls to block suspicious websites. Option D, enable stricter UAC settings on. And the correct answer for this question is option B, remove users from the local admin group. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is the root cause of unauthorized applications appearing on systems and users receiving licensing prompts is typically that users have administrative privileges on their local machines. These privileges allows them to bypass standard software deployment procedures and install non-standard or unapproved software, which may not be properly licensed or could contain malware. By removing users from the local admin group, the security team enforces the principle of least privilege, preventing users from making system level changes or installing software without IT approval. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, remove users from the local admin group. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is a support specialist needs to decide whether to install a 32-bit or 62-bit OS architecture on a new computer. So which of the following specifications will help the specialist determine which OS architecture to use? Option A, 16 GB RAM. Option B, Intel Ion CPU. Option C, 500 GB HDD. Option D, 1 Gbps Ethernet. And the correct answer for this question is option A, 16 GB RAM. So let's check the explanation. The amount of installed RAM is the most critical factor in this scenario because a 32-bit operating system is mathematically limited to addressing a maximum of 4 GB of RAM. If a computer has a 16 GB of RAM installed, a 32-bit OS would be unable to utilize roughly 70% of that memory. Therefore, seeing 16 GB RAM in the specifications immediately informs the specialist that a 64-bit OS architecture is required to fully access and use the available hardware. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, 16 GB RAM. So let's move to the next question. The next question is which of the following prevents forced entry into buildings? Option A, PII card. Option B, motion activated lighting. Option C, video surveillance. Option D, bollard. And the correct answer for this question is option D, bollard. So let's check the explanation. A bollard is a sturdy vertical post often made of steel or concrete installed to act as a physical barrier. In a physical security, its primary purpose is to prevent forced entry by blocking vehicles from ramming into buildings or restricted pedestrian areas. Because it is a fixed physical obstacle, it provides a proactive preventive control rather than just a deterrent or detection method. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, bollard. So let's move to the next question. The next question is a technician is assigned to offboard a user. Which of the following are common tasks on offboarding checklist? Choose two out of these options. Option A, quarantine the hard drive in the user's laptop. Option B, deactivate the user's key fobs for door access. Option C, purge all PIs associated with the user. Option D, suspend the user's email account. Option E, turn off the network ports underneath the user's desk. Option F, add the MAC address of the user's computer to a block list. And the correct answer for this question is option B, deactivate the user's key fobs for door access. And option D, suspend the user's email account. So let's check the explanation. Offboarding is the process of securely transition an employee out of an organization. The primary goals are to protect corporate data and revoke physical and logical access to resources. Deactivating key fobs is a critical physical security step to ensure the former employee can no longer enter the building or restricted areas, or suspending the email account or disabling the user account prevents the user from accessing company communications, proprietary data, and using their identity to authenticate into their cloud services. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B and D. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a company would like to deploy baseline images to new computers as they are started up on the network. So which of the following boot processes should the company use for this task? Option A, ISO, option B, secure, option C, USB, option D, PXE. And the correct answer for this question is option D, PXE, pre-reboot execution environment. So let's check the explanation. So the explanation is PXE means pre-reboot execution environment. It's a protocol that allows a computer to put its operating system or deployment environment directly from a network server rather than from local storage. This process is ideal for deploying baseline images to new computer because it enables simultaneous deployment to multiple machines as soon as they are powered on and connected to the network. It eliminates the need for technicians to manually insert physical media like USBs or DVDs into every individual workstation. The client machine uses its network interface card to request boot instructions from a DHCP and PXE server to download the necessary imaging files. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, PXE. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a user has been adding data to the same spreadsheet for several years. After adding a significant amount of data, they are now unable to open the file. So which of the following should a technician do to resolve the issue? Option A, revert the spreadsheet to the last restore point. Option B, increase the amount of RAM. Option C, defragment the storage drive. Option D, upgrade the network connection speed. And the correct answer for this question is option B, increase the amount of RAM. And let's check the explanation. So large spreadsheet files, often called heavy workbooks, consume significant system resources when being opened and processed. When a file grows over several years and becomes massive, the computer's RAM, random access memory, may become insufficient to load the entire data set into memory, causing the application to hang, crash, or fail to open. Increasing the RAM provides the necessary workspace for the application to handle the increased data volume and complex calculations typically found in long-term spreadsheets. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, increased amount of RAM. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician installs VPN client software that has a software bug from the vendor. After the vendor releases an update to the software, the technician attempts to reinstall the software but keeps getting an error message that the network adapter for the VPN already exists. So which of the following should the technician do next to mitigate this issue? Option A, run the latest OS security updates. Option B, map the network adapter to the new software. Option C, update the network adapters firmware. Option D, delete hidden network adapters. And the correct answer for this question is option D, delete hidden network adapters. So let's check the explanation. When installing and then attempting to reinstall VPN software, the original installation often leaves behind orphaned or ghost virtual network adapters. These adapters may not be visible in the standard device manager view, but they remain registered in the operating system configuration. Because the new installation attempts detects an existing adapter with the same properties or name, it generates a conflict error. Deleting these hidden adapters remove the conflict, allowing the updated software to correctly create its own free virtual interface. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, delete hidden network adapter. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, which of the following is the best reason for a network engineering team to provide a help desk technician with IP addressing information to use on workstations being deployed in a secure network segment? Option A, only specific DNS servers are allowed outbound access. Option B, the network allow list is set to a specific address. Option C, DSCP services are not enabled for this subnet. Option D, NAC servers only allow for security updates to be installed. And the correct answer for this question is option C, DSCP services are not enabled for this subnet. So let's check the explanation. So static configuration requirement: when DSCP services are not enabled, workstations cannot automatically request or receive an IP address, subnet mask, or default gateway. Manual assignment: in secure network segment, administrators often disable DSCP to prevent unauthorized devices from easily joining the network. This necessitates providing a technician with specific IP addressing information to manually configure each workstation. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, DSCP services are not enabled for this subnet. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a technician using a credential manager to safeguard a large number of credentials. So which of the following is important for using this application? Option A, restricted login times. Option B, secure master password. Option C, TPM module. Option D, Windows lock screen. And the correct answer for this question is option B, secure master password. So let's check the explanation. A credential manager or password manager functions by encrypting a database of multiple usernames and passwords behind a single primary authentication factor. Because this application holds the keys of the kingdom, a secure master password is the most critical requirement. If the master password is weak or compromised, an attacker gains access to every other credential stored within the application. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, secure master password. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following methods involves requesting a user's approval via push notification to verify the user's identity? Option A, call. Option B, authenticator. Option C, hardware token. Option D, SMS. And the correct answer for this question is option B, authenticator. So let's check the explanation. So modern authenticator applications such as Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator utilize push to verify technology. This method sends a notification directly to user's registered mobile device during a login attempt. The user can then approve or deny the identity verification request with a single tap, providing a fast and secure second factor to multi-factor authentication MFA. That's why the correct answer for this question is option B, authenticator. And this is the question. A technician must map a network drive on a piece of legacy equipment running an end-of-life operating system. So which of the following is a base script to map the drive using simple Windows commands? Option A, shell. Option B, batch. Option C, VB. Option D, Java. And the correct answer for this question is option B, batch. So let's check the explanation. And the explanation is, a batch script .bat or .cmd is the best tool for this scenario because it uses the native Windows command line CMD interpreter, which has been present in every version of Windows since its inception. To map a network drive in a batch file, the technician would use the simple command netuse/ched /server name /share name. So because legacy and end of life operating systems like Windows XP or older always support these basic command line functions without requiring additional runtimes or modern frameworks like PowerShell, batch remains the most compatible and straightforward choice. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option B, batch. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, after clicking on an advertisement, a user reports that their browser is slow. A technician looks at the network connections for the machine and notices a large number of outbound connections. Which of the following actions should the technician take next? Option A, enable the firewall. Option B, run antivirus scans. Option C, reboot the computer. Option D, quarantine the system. And the correct answer for this question is option D, quarantine the system. So let's check the explanation. So according to the CompTIA malware removal best practices, the first response to a suspected infection, especially one showing active signs like a large number of unbound outbound connections, is to isolate the machine from the network. Isolate quarantine the large number of outbound connections suggests the computer is likely communicating with a command line and control CNC server or participating in a DDoS attack botnet. So prevent spread. So quarantining the system ensures the malware cannot spread to other devices on the network or continue exfiltering data while the technician works on the next steps of remediation. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, quarantine the system. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, various alerts on a user's Windows 11 laptop are continually interrupting the user during video conference calls. So which of the following should a support technician recommend to best solve the issue? Option A, use multiple sound output devices for the various source applications. Option B, disable all notification in different applications in the order they appear. Option C, configure the sounds options in control panel to be set to no sounds. And option D, set Windows notification settings to do not disturb. And the correct answer for this question is option D, set Windows notification settings to do not disturb. So let's check the explanation. So explanation is, Windows 11 includes a do not disturb, formerly focus assist feature specifically designed to silence incoming notifications and alerts. By enabling these settings, the operating system will suppress pop-ups and sound alerts that would otherwise interrupt the user's video conference calls, providing a comprehensive solution without needing to modify individual application settings. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, set Windows notification settings to do not disturb. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a company employees do not have assigned workspaces and regularly work at different computers and physical locations. So which of the following should a company implement to maintain data security and minimize the amount of user data that needs to be transferred? Option A, centralized certificate storage. Option B, cloud email. Option C, portable drives. Option D, roaming profiles. And the correct answer for this question is option D, roaming profiles. So let's check the explanation. So in an environment where employees do not have assigned desks and move between various computers, roaming profiles provide a seamless experience by storing a user's desktop settings, files, and personalized environment on a central file server. When a user logs into any network joined computer, the settings are synchronized from the server to the local machine, ensuring they have access to their data regardless of their physical locations. This minimizes the need for users to manually transfer data via insecure or bulky methods. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, roaming profiles. So let's move to the next question. And the next question is, a user downloads an application with a plugin that is designed to automatically prompt for an OTP when the user browses to a specific website. The plugin installs without any warnings or errors. The first time the user goes to the site, the prompt does not open and the user cannot access the site. Which of the following browser settings should the user configure? Option A, extension/add-ins. Option B, certificate validity. Option C, proxy settings. Option D, trusted sources. And the correct answer for this question is option A, extension/add-ins. So let's check the explanation. The user should configure extension add-ins even if a plugin installed without error. Browsers often disable new extensions by default or block them from running on specific sites to protect security, requiring the users to manually enable, allow, or adjust permissions for the plugin into function. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, extension/add-ins. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician needs to install a home wireless router for a customer who wants to limit connections made to the network from the internet. So which of the following should the technician do? Option A, use content filtering. Option B, change the default password. Option C, configure the SSID settings. Option D, disable UPnP. And the correct answer for this question is option D, disable UPnP. So let's check the explanation. So universal plug and play UNPP is a protocol that allows devices on a local network to automatically discover each other and open ports on the router for communication. While convenient for gaming and media streaming, UPnP can be a significant security risk because it allows applications to bypass the firewall without user intervention, potentially allowing unsolicited connections from the internet. Disabling UPnP ensures that the router's firewall remains closed to external requests, unless specifically configured otherwise, effectively limiting connections made to the network from the internet. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option D, disable universal plug and play. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician is installing a cloud-based productivity suite and keep getting an error message stating that the installation is unavailable. So which of the following troubleshooting steps should a technician try first? Option A, reinstalling the productivity suite. Option B, downloading an open source alternative. Option C, checking the license device limit. Option D, updating the device OS. And the correct answer for this question is option C, checking the license device limit. So let's check the explanation, and the explanation is cloud-based productivity suites such as Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace typically restrict the number of active devices allowed per user license. When a user attempts to install the software on a new device after reaching this limit, the service may return an installation unavailable error. Checking the license status is the most logical first step because it addresses a common configuration constraint without requiring time-consuming technical changes like OS updates or reinstallations. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C, checking the license device limit. So let's move to the next question. Next question is, a user wants to dispose of a failed hard drive in a way that ensures the data is unrecoverable. So which of the following is the best at home method? Option A, standard formatting. Option B, low level formatting. Option C, shredding. Option D, degaussing. Option E, drilling. And the correct answer for this question is option E, drilling. So let's check the explanation. So drilling is considered the best at-home method for ensuring a failed hard drive's data is unrecoverable. Because the drive has already failed, software-based methods like formatting are often impossible to perform. Physical destruction is required for absolute certainty, and drilling several holes through the drive's platters and circuit board effectively renders the media unspinnable and the data fragments unreadable by standard forensic tools. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option E, drilling. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a customer's laptop will not turn on. The customer is distraught and panicking because the laptop contains family fixtures that can never be replaced. So which of the following communication techniques is most important for the technician to demonstrate in this situation? Option A, the technician should provide the customer with the appropriate SLA agreement. Option B, the technician should inform the customer about replacement options for an increased cost. Option C, the technician should project confidence and maintain a positive attitude. And option D, the technician should be dressed in appropriate business casual attire to project expertise. And the correct answer for this question is option C, the technician should project confidence and maintain a positive attitude. So let's check the explanation. So in high stress situations where a customer is distraught and panicking over potentially irreplaceable data, the technician's primary goal is to de-escalate the emotional response while maintaining professional control of the repair process. First one is a projecting confidence, so calms the customer by assuring them that a technician has the expertise to handle the situation and that resolution is possible. Positive attitude helps build rapport and trust, which is essential when the customer feels vulnerable. Active listening, while not explicitly in the option, maintaining a positive attitude often involves acknowledging the customer's concerns, empathy before proceeding with technical steps. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option C. The technician should project confidence and maintain a positive attitude. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, a technician thinks that an application a user downloaded from the internet may not be in the legitimate one, even though the name is the same. The technician needs to confirm whether the application is legitimate. Which of the following should the technician do? Option A, compare the hash value from the vendor. Option B, run task manager and compare the process ID. Option C, run the application in safe mode. Option D, verify the file name is correct. And the correct answer for this question is option A, compare the hash value from the vendor. So let's check the explanation. To confirm whether a downloaded application is legitimate and has not been tampered with, a technician should calculate the file's hash value using algorithms like SHA-256 or MD5 and compare it against the official hash provided by the software vendor. A hash is a unique digital fingerprint of a file. If even a single bit of the file is changed, the resulting hash will be completely different. So matching hashes guarantee the file's integrity and authenticity. So that's why the correct answer for this question is option A, compare the hash value from the vendor. So I hope you're enjoying this video and this part has been successfully completed. So study hard, good luck and thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe the channel to see more video like this. I will upload next part shortly. Thanks for watching.